What is going on, everybody? There is tons to discuss tonight. Thor has surprisingly brought down the hammer on us. The Mets GM search is over. A familiar robot is going to the Bronx. Trade talks, free agency predictions. We got a special guest as well joining us. Welcome to the Mets Weekly Roundtable, guys. Let's go. All right.
This is Frank Cugino from Frank About Sports.
What's going on, guys? Andrew Acevedo back.
What's going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden is the name.
What is going on, everybody? This is Mets fan from YouTube.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Tony Metro.
Big Apple Banter Media here with Elias. That's weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Welcome to Mets Weekly.
Banger.
Banger. Yes, sir. All right, so the first question here is, who the hell are you people? We'll start with Mets Talk with Hayden.
What's going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden is the name. Raging is the game. Hope you're all doing well. Appreciate you guys tuning in as always. If you guys want to check me out, be very much appreciated. Live streams, videos, over news, updates, all that great stuff. Did 3 videos this past week if you guys want to check them out. 3 reasons what the Mets do with Robinson Cano, going over the Syndergaard news, and, of course, the Billy Epler news. Please feel free to check me out, LFGM.
All right, Tony Metro.
What's up, guys? Tony Metro got back on track this week, made a couple videos. First one was about the Mets hiring Billy Epler. I'd actually posted that before it was official, just when they had given him the offer. So it's a little out of context, but I give you all the background on what you need to know about Billy Epler and his time with the Angels and prior to that. And then obviously the big news about Noah Syndergaard going to the Angels, which we'll get into later today. But check out the channel. It's growing. I really appreciate you guys tuning in.
Rhino. Andrew. What's up, man?
What's going on? As I teased on Twitter, there's going to be a little announcement on what the channel is going to happen with the channel in the very near future, but I'll let that simmer, let that sit away in the backdrop. You're going to have to watch the whole stream to get the announcement. But, again, MLB The Show, Mets content. I didn't make a video about Epler or the Syndergaard news because I've been working pretty much all day, every day. So finally got some time. I get to talk about it here. And let's go do some free agent predictions. Let's break it down.
Okay. Live conference tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Interesting. Okay. Well, just letting everybody know, we are also streaming tonight's episode on Tony Metro's channel and Frank's channel, somebody who should be joining us in a few minutes. I hope so. Pop into all chats. We want to get as many people in here as possible. Also, keep your eye out for some stuff on the way. We will have announced a few things here and there by the next episode, so get ready for that. Also, make sure to follow all of us on Twitter for that news. Plenty to come. Now, let's get into it here. I'm just going to make sure I have everything here, and I think we're ready to go. Okay, so our top story has had a crazy timeline in the past 7 days. It looked like the Mets were close to hiring Adam Cromie as their GM, but those rumors were silenced about a day after our last episode aired. Now, not only has that happened, but the Mets have also hired someone to be their new GM, and his name is Billy Epler. Now, Epler was an assistant GM to Yankees Brian Cashman about a decade ago. Then he was the Angels GM before being let go in 2020. Now, since then, he's been a business partner for William Morris Endeavor Sports Agency. Now he's leaving the agency to be the Mets general manager on a 4-year deal. There's lots to unpack, but the main question is, is this a good hire for the Mets? We asked this about Cromie last week, but this guy's actually coming here. So is this a good hire? I'm going to start with Tony Metro.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to really say if it is a good hire or not because, I mean, we don't know. It's all going to depend on the results. But I'm happy with the hire. I'm happy that we have a baseball guy in here who, although he was working with the talent agency that you just mentioned, he was in baseball as recently as 2020. He was a general manager for 5 years in the major leagues. So I'm really just happy to have a guy that at least knows the ropes. There's no learning curve for him. And some of the things I've touched on in my video on my channel, which you guys can check out after the stream, is that he was working with the Angels under a notoriously difficult owner in Artie Moreno. So pretty much imagine Jeff Wilpon, but actually willing to spend money. But, the problem was he kind of wanted to have it his way. So one of the examples I read in a write-up from one of the papers or whatever was that he handpicked Brad Ausmus to be the manager, and after just 1 year, Artie Moreno chose to have him fired and bring in Joe Madden. So that's just one small example, and it sounds like the same thing as far as, we always not complain, but say the Angels don't get starting pitching, but they go out and spend 250, 300 million on Anthony Rendon, and that all seems to be from Artie Moreno. So I think this guy, he learned under Brian Cashman in the Yankees organization for 10 years. He's been a GM in the past. If Steve Cohen and Sandy Alderson can step to the side and let this guy work his magic while infusing the money in it, I think it has the potential to be a really good hire. So I'm pretty happy about it.
Okay, where's Frank? That question has just been asked. He's right here on the screen. Don't know what you're talking about. All right, Frank, you can introduce your channel if you want, and you can give your spiel on Billy Epler as well, because I know you have some big opinions on this one.
Yeah, I made a whole video about Billy Epler earlier this week. I also made some free agency videos, no prediction, not so much prediction, but where they should sign, things like that. Definitely will be more coming as the offseason progresses. But in my video, I talked a lot about Epler, and my concern was his experience, the organizations he was from. We see what the Rays are doing, as they might have made a huge offer to Wander Franco, always being progressive, always being one step ahead, always being a smart organization. Which is why I always said, get anybody from the Rays. Get the janitor. I don't care who you get. But when you get a guy from a team that has underachieved so much to a team that has underachieved so much as well in the New York Mets, I just don't think it's a good mix. Because you look at, he learned under Brian Cashman. Well, what have the Yankees done lately? They can't find any good starting pitching. And then what did Epler struggle with the Angels? Finding good starting pitching. And with Noah Syndergaard gone, what do the Mets need now? Good starting pitching. This is not the guy to get that. Billy Epler is not the guy like Sandy Alderson that could assemble that 2015 rotation. So I'm a bit concerned. Obviously, you give him a chance, but I think he really was one of the last options. They asked everybody. Nobody wanted the job for a multitude of reasons. So they had to hire somebody to save face. I hope it's not mostly to get Stearns. I hope they actually believe this is the guy. When you sign someone to a 4-year deal, you really got to feel confident in them. So we'll see how he does. And they say talked well. Well, listen, the guy's an agent now, so of course he's going to interview well. And the same thing Brody Van Wagenen did. So I am concerned, but I have to at least give him a chance before I go all out.
Okay. Mets talk with Hayden. What do you think about Billy Epler coming to the Mets?
Yeah, well, obviously, I think like everyone else, Billy Epler was not our first choice. He was more so I think I said 108th choice pretty much. Not a guy that was really my number one choice. And, it really is unfortunate for the Mets to have to go out there and really fight for general manager or president of baseball operations. And you know what? I said it in the last stream, and I'm going to echo it again. I feel he's really just another placeholder. He has a 4-year contract, and I just really question how long it's going to last. Listen, he was with the Angels. He has his pros. He has his cons. We haven't seen the Angels get over a 500 record in the 6 years he was there. So that's my big thing. We could see he likes to spend money. Money, well, that doesn't necessarily win you championships, but I think he could be very good for extensions. I think he could be good for trying to re-sign and extend Javier Baez, re-sign and extend Marcus Stroman, give degrom an extension, give Alonso an extension. He seems to really work well with the financial aspect of baseball. We saw that he was responsible for giving Mike Trout that $430 million deal. I think it was like $270 something to Anthony Rendon, which He has his injuries, but that's besides the point. He could be really good for, trying to get contracts under his belt. I just really question his ability for more so the day-to-day operations as the GM, whether that's working with the farm, roster construction. That's my only thing with him. I'm not going to completely judge him. I'm not going to completely bash him. He's with the Angels, so there's really no other guys that I would hope he could bring over. Obviously, if it was the Dodgers, the Brewers, the Giants, that'd be much better because he could bring his friends over. But overall, I think he's adequate enough for the Mets, Epler. I really don't have much to say because we don't know how he's going to perform as the Mets role. Like I said, just another placeholder, and it's unfortunate because now the Mets have to go over another GM, 3 GMs in 12 months. So, how they want to shift and position each other on the field is going to be a different agenda. How the clubhouse is going to be a different agenda, and it's tiring. Keep a guy and keep him for more than 5 years. It's just really annoying. So obviously, Epler, is he good for the Mets for the short term? Sure. Is he your long-term guy? Absolutely not.
Okay, guys, I just want to apologize for a second. I forgot this fucking moron still has a mod in my chat. Andrew, Billy Epler, what do you think about him?
Yeah, I think everybody said it. Everybody didn't want this job. I mean, I wanted it. I would have been a good choice, but Steve didn't want to call me. But again, it's just you like the idea that he's going to spend money, and this fan base is clamoring, yelling at Sandy Alderson for penny pinching. This guy's not going to penny pinch, and that means Chris Bryant will be here for a 7-year, $245 million deal. He'll give Jacob degrom $500 million next year, and if he opts out, you're going to get your big money spending. But also, again, it's somebody we've bitched and moaned. Sorry, there goes the cursing. Oh, there you go. Sorry, Frank. PG-13 or PG streams over with. But again, everyone's complained about finally getting a GM. Get somebody. At this point, we don't care. Now you've got your guy. You're going to get a guy who's going to spend money. The only thing I'm going to ask is you better not trade Brett Beatty. That's all I ask. Until he does something stupid, I'm not going to kill him. But he does something stupid, we're going to rip him. But I'm going to let him at least get to his first James McCann contract, and then I'll rip him. So that's just how I kind of look.
Listen, Justin Upton's contract is way worse than James McCann, so he already has one of those under his belt.
On the Met roster.
But he definitely made a lot of mistakes in LA, but I just want to go back to the whole idea of him having Artie Moreno, but also the mess that he inherited from the previous GM, whose name I can't remember right now. He decimated the Angels farm system. They didn't have a lot of talent at the higher level, so he really didn't have a lot of talent ready to come up. And on top of that, he had just signed Josh Hamilton to a mega contract, which we all know, the sad story about that. He had just signed Albert Pujols, who was just entering his decline to that mega contract. He had a C.J. Wilson, Jared Weaver still on the books. The guy didn't have a lot of financial wiggle room and didn't have a lot of talent in the farm system. And he built that farm system pretty well with guys like Marsh, Joe Adell, Griffin Canning. He even traded for Martin Maldonado, then flipped him to Houston for Patrick Sandoval, who's going to be in the Angels rotation. And I'll leave it with this. One of my best friends, diehard Angels fan, as well-educated and passionate as we are as Mets fans, said, you got a good hire. It's always been the owner. It's not the GM, Epler. It was always Artie Moreno. So I'm going to take him at face value on that. And like you guys said, till he does something stupid otherwise, I'm going to give him a chance.
My initial thought about it at this point, I am still skeptical about it. I'm skeptical about pretty much everything. On the other hand, I don't really care enough. At this point, this process is just taking so long, and I'm just ready to move on. Everyone gets a fair chance with me. This is not our first choice, and it's not perfect, but neither are the Mets. So maybe it is a good match at this point. I understand the signings that he made or maybe did not, or but we can't forget that big contracts are usually given out to a player when they're at their highest peak. There's a very rare scenario where they're not going to be underwhelming. I mean, we just saw that Bryce Harper. We just saw Bryce Harper win MVP again. Obviously, he's whatever. but like there's those rare occasions. Now it's just almost impossible. The player is going to be better than the value that they receive on that contract because they peak. That's just how it is. They're going to be underwhelming, and that's how it is. Now, yes, he did hire Mickey Callaway, or there was something with Mickey Callaway. He didn't really handle it the best, but so did Sandy Alderson. So there's so many things that cancel each other out here. Makes me so different. It looks like Epler was a top choice behind the Bean, Epstein, and Stearns tier. He's also good friends with David Stearns, so who knows? I mean, everyone gets a fair chance with me. Only time will tell at this point. And now I want to get into probably the most heated topic of tonight's episode, unless anybody wants to add anything on about Epler. No? Everyone's good? Okay. Okay, this one's going to be tough. Okay. Noah Syndergaard is gone. All right. After a mass expectation that he would be accepting the qualifying offer, Mets fans woke up to a gut-wrenching news that Noah Syndergaard has signed a 1-year, $21 million contract with the Angels. So reportedly, the Mets gave Noah the qualifying offer. There was radio silence right after. When asked about it the other day, Sandy Alderson said the Mets did not even get a chance to match the offer for the Angels. Lots of different stories coming from both ends. Lots to unpack here. I'm going to try and conserve my energy here because I'm ready to tear some people a new asshole with my answer. So I'm going to start with Tony Metro. How should Mets fans feel about losing Noah Syndergaard?
About the actual team coming up, concerned because we need starting pitching. So, I mean, I pretty much, as soon as the season was over, already had Noah Syndergaard penciled into the rotation. I thought there was no doubt he was going to take the qualifying offer. Even if he only made 20 or 23 starts, we would have taken that. It's better than having the, guys we had throwing last year for us at times. So, it's disappointing. And just from an emotional side, not because he was a Met, not because he was, homegrown, even though they traded for him, but, he told us all offseason, that he wanted to come back to New York, that he loved New York, and he can't imagine putting on a different uniform. It was going to be a hard thing to do. And then he just kind of left, as I put it, like a ship in the night. I mean, it just was so weird how I wake up, I hear a rumor that he's talking to the Angels, and within an hour, it's official and it's signed. So, you know what? I mean, honestly, Noah has been a frustrating pitcher for me. I remember watching him throw a near no-hitter in 2015, and I was like, oh my God, this is our guy. Like, we have him and degrom and Harvey and Matt. But you know what? I mean, the guy gets hurt a lot. I don't think he has lived up to his full ability. I think he's had this mentality of I throw 101 and I'm going to throw it by you. Guys hit one-on-one now. I don't think he's the smartest pitcher with the sequencing. And you know what? I want to say the best of luck to him, but it kind of pissed me off the way he went out the way he did and then made that stupid emotional video where it sounded like he was reading off placards because he's dummy. But anyway, I'm just Mets fans should be concerned about the rotation, but in regards to Syndergaard, who got?
All right. Well, iTalk Studios has joined us here. If you want to introduce yourself, your channel here, and you can give some thoughts on the whole Syndergaard situation if you want.
Yeah. Is that? Wait, I'm trying to figure out if is this too loud or no? This is good. All right. Good. Perfect. So yeah, iTalk Studios. I guess. I mean, I don't really need to. I don't want to. I don't need to do that on this. I want all the attention to be on you guys. You deserve it, and I'm just happy to be here. I thank you so much for inviting me on. I'm glad to be on stuff like this. So I heard controversial and heated, and I was like right away. I'm like, oh, I got to get on now. So Noah Syndergaard leaving, that was a shock, and it was even a bigger shock to hear that he didn't even give the Mets a chance to counter. Right away, obviously, we're all in that group chat together. I was like, whoa, like I knew you. Obviously, you guys were upset because he just the Mets didn't, they didn't want to up it a little more. Steve Cohen has all this money and he's not he's not upping the offer a little bit. But it's like, but now obviously we know the truth. And I have a question. I wonder what you guys think about this though. Do you think Steve Cohen would have upped his offer to match the Angels or go higher than them if he had the chance? What do some
I was
of you guys
expecting
think?
him to do so. That's what I was.
I would think he would.
I mean, we're talking $3 million extra, though. I mean, that's
Yeah. I will say though,
Especially on a 1-year deal. Like if it was a multi-year deal, I could see the Mets being a little hesitant. But when it comes to 1 year, it's like $3 million. What's it going to do? You're going to be over the tax regardless this year for the Mets once everything is all said and done.
Right.
So I didn't really see a big deal with the $3 million being a stopping point for them.
Yeah. I personally, I'm going to be honest, I didn't even think it was that good of a move for the Angels. I wouldn't say it was a desperate move, and I wouldn't say it was an emotional move. I would say it was more of a move that was like, kind of like, it's not even a bad move. It's just not a great one. Like they now lose a draft pick, I'm pretty sure. Right? Is that how that works? Like they lost a draft pick now. That could, potentially be someone that could go for their future. But again, Syndergaard, he's obviously a great track record, but he's only thrown 2 innings in the last 2 years. I mean, I don't really. I mean, they already have so much money on the books with the hitters. It's like I don't know what they're doing. I mean, they're gonna have to give money to some pitcher, but I don't know. I think they should have. Man, the Angels, they just can't get pitching, and I think that's really what it was. They were like, you know what, we're just gonna go all in and get a guy like Syndergaard, and then now we're gonna go after Scherzer, Verlander, Stroman, or whoever's out there. Obviously, Verlander's not anymore, but yeah.
All right. Well, Andrew, you're the GM here. What happened here? How should everyone feel?
I'm gonna do kind of like how Tony did this, and I'm gonna look at the Mets perspective, and then I'll let my personal opinion about Noah Syndergaard go last. Obviously, this hurts, and Mets fans should be upset because this is the guy who the last pitcher to win a game for the Mets in the World Series was Noah Syndergaard. And yes, the Alcides Escobar headshot, head hunting, whatever you want to call it. And again, there is an emotional connection. Again, they got him in the Dickey trade, and again, he was a part of the dream rotation on the thumbnail of him, Matz, Harvey. And like Tony said, he's the one guy that he was supposed to be the guy. It was supposed to be him and Harvey. Jake was the nobody that ended up being the best at all of them, but it was always going to be Noah and Harvey were supposed to be the big two. And he never truly reached that potential, like Tony said. Again, he had one really elite year, and then everything else was, mid to, kind of disappointing with Syndergaard. Taking the $3 million to go to LA, the great Andy Martino, we all love him, made a video for SNY and saying that he knew this was going to happen, that ever since the Mets tried to trade him in 2018 and 19 with Brody, that he thought he would have played this last year and leave after this season. So him bouncing for $3 extra million this year, obviously it hurts, and it makes it hurts more than it's like he's going to an inferior team that can't win anything. If you're just going to stay in the same kind of mid-tier team, why wouldn't you just stay with the team who has the better shot of making the playoffs between the Mets and the Angels? He chose the money. He went a little extra to go at LA. Personally, it doesn't bother me. He was kind of a person just like, Pete Alonso, and, kind of there's a different person when there's a camera in front of his face than when there is no camera in front of him. But obviously it sucks for the Mets as a team. Personally, I could care less seeing him playing for the Angels, and I'm not one of these guys who are like, I'm so sad that Syndergaard's gone. So, again, I wish him, I guess, the best of luck. But, again, for the Mets, now they got to – Stroman needs to be re-signed, and they got to be able to add more pitching that we already needed. So now you have to add an open spot.
All right. Frank, Syndergaard to LA. How should we feel?
Well, I don't know how everyone should feel because I would never tell anyone how to feel. But how I feel mad. I feel sad. I feel confused. I mean, I feel all the above. Just because the way the story has changed so much, we're yelling at the Mets. Oh my God, you couldn't fork up $3 million. Then we're yelling at Syndergaard. Oh, you didn't give him a chance to match. So I think the fact that we have these conflicting stories And then Noah Syndergaard says that, oh, well, it was radio silence. I didn't hear from them. That's why I, decided to go to LA or whatever. And I'm thinking, was this just a miscommunication with Sandy Alderson? Because this wouldn't be the first time we've seen this. I've talked about it a ton, but Sandy just not being on the same page as the players. I've said that a ton of times. So that was something I was concerned about. And I think just for the emotional aspect, people could say 2015 or whatever, it still hurts because we all had this vision like, you know what, you lost Wheeler, which still hurts. It still hurts, especially seeing how successful he is now. Everyone wanted Matz out of town. I just felt he needed to change the scenery. He ended up pitching well in a change there. Everyone thought he was done. He was garbage. He pitched well with Toronto. They wanted to give him a qualifier. They didn't, but losing him hurt because he was part of that team. And obviously the whole Harvey thing was sad, and now you lost Noah. So you really know that you just have DeGrom, and even he's been hurt. And all the people, he only pitched 2 innings in 2 years. But Tommy John surgery is a thing. Like, pitchers get Tommy John surgery. They come back from Tommy John surgery. And a lot of those pitchers pitch really, really well. So everyone's saying, he wasn't worth it. He only pitched 2 innings. So let me get this straight. If you had another good pitcher, let's say DeGrom needed Tommy John. He only didn't pitch for 2 years. Do you bring back DeGrom? He hasn't pitched in 2 years. I don't want to hear that crap. Plenty of pitchers come back and can be successful. So anyone that thinks that you're just being too like, that's how it works. But you know what? Like I've said with McNeil and anyone else, if Noah truly didn't want to be a Met, then there's no point. You could offer him all the money in the world, but if he doesn't want to be here, you don't need any of that. You don't need any more problems than you already have in this clubhouse. So if he wants to be an Angel, have fun.
Why do you think he? I wonder why he didn't even let the Mets counter. Like that doesn't.
Because I think he was hoping that in between time after they offered him the qualifying offer, if he was going to get another offer that was better. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
I'll get into it. I'm gonna obviously go last here, but I'll get into it. But for the where Sandy said he didn't even give them an opportunity. I don't believe that. I don't believe that one bit. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yeah.
But Hayden, losing Thor. How should we feel about this whole situation?
Listen, losing Noah Syndergaard, Anaheim Angels is just beyond tough. This was a move that kind of, came to surprise. There were talks, a couple hours prior, about 48 hours prior, that the Anaheim Angels and Noah Syndergaard were in talks. But you know what? For the past, 5 years, I guess when Epler was the GM, technically, they never got starting pitching. They got offense. They acquired Anthony Rendon. They extended Mike Trout, but they never went after pitching. Their pitching was Jose Quintana and some sub-4.5 ERA guys. Overall, I really think Verlander. I really think that Syndergaard can be a fair enough guy for the Angels, whether you use him as a bullpen role or even a starter. The Angels, besides Ohtani, don't really have much pitching depth, so he could give you some innings. I mean, really, he could eat up anywhere between 180 to 200 innings. It just sucks to see the Mets let him go. And I said this in my video, and I'm going to echo it here. The Mets worked with Noah Syndergaard for 2 years with Tommy John. Not even the Tommy John, the elbow, the finger issues he had, the blisters. The Mets worked with Syndergaard so long, and especially the Tommy John in 2020, in 2021. In the back of our minds, we said, we have Noah Syndergaard coming up, so maybe we just get, this guy instead of this guy, because we have Syndergaard coming up. So it really is unfortunate and sucks to see that the Mets just throw away the 2 years that we were working with Syndergaard. Listen, personally, would Syndergaard have been, a Matt Harvey 2.0? I don't know about that. They were two different types of pitchers. But overall, it just really is unfortunate to see. Listen, I get it. The Mets get, like an extra draft pick. That's cool. But I would much rather know it's Syndergaard than an extra draft pick. Syndergaard could really have given the Mets something, I felt. Whether that was in a bullpen role or whether that was a starter. Listen, he wasn't going to be lights out. Him and Jeremy have to work to pretty much their butt off this whole offseason. But yeah, otherwise that's that. He'll be with the Angels, and I mean, hopefully he's not a Matt Harvey 2.0 because I think he directly went to the Mets to the Angels. So I don't think he'll be that. I think honestly, worst case scenario, the Angels can turn him into a bullpen pitcher. Just to see. I mean, you have this dude so long, and
did I get you, Andrew? Did I say anything? I get you? Okay. All right. I'm gonna say right now, and this is I put absolutely next to no blame on Noah Syndergaard here. I'm going to tell you right now, and here's why I don't believe that the Mets didn't even get a chance to match the offer or whatever. Because the Mets have done this shit for their entire franchise history. Okay, the only Mets draft picks and homegrown players that have had a full career with the Mets are Ed Kranepool and David Wright. Okay?
Pete Alonso's going to be on that list too.
Yeah, I fucking doubt it at this rate. Okay? They do this every time, okay? They give out one penny-pinching offer that a homeless person can outbid, okay? And then they tell them to go fuck themselves. They did this to Reyes. They did it to Murphy. They did it to Wheeler. Now Syndergaard. They're going to do it to Conforto. How do I not know DeGrom is next?
Never.
I mean, listen, I get it. The Wilpons were problems with this situation. They're gone now. So I thought we were done with this shit. I'm so sick of the excuses. That's what I'm sick of. Reyes, he's only the greatest greatest shortstop in Mets history. We'll just wait another decade to get one of his caliber. We got Ahmad Rosario. We're okay. It's all good. Murphy, he's a great player. We'll beat DC again. Don't worry, it's not that big of a deal. We'll be back in the World Series. Wheeler just got hurt a lot. Right? It's okay. We got David Peterson ready to go. Porcello and Wacko mentor him. That's depth, baby. That's depth. The crazy thing is that at the GM meeting, Sandy said we have a lot of financial flexibility. So where is it? Where is it? What's the excuse now? I don't get it. Sandy, I say this as a huge advocate of yours for a long time. What the hell happened to you? Like, seriously, what the hell happened to you? This guy is lifeless. You got outbid by $2.6 million on a 1-year deal. 3 to 4 million extra for a guy you traded a Cy Young Award winner for in 2013. And if he's not good in 2022, he's a free agent. Don't bring him back the next year. I mean, I'm done defending this stupidity. A World Series in 3 to 5 years will be the East Coast Dodgers. Show me then. Like, I don't see it. I mean, it's just, I don't get it. What happened? They do this all the time, and I'm sick of it. I thought we were done doing this. It's ridiculous. But in the end here, thank you, Noah. It's been a pleasure. Good luck in LA. Always rooting for you, and that's it. If anybody wants to add anything, because I'm about to lose my breath.
All right.
Anyone wants to add anything to
I don't know if this is like a good thing to add, but when I think of Noah Syndergaard's time with the Mets, I just can't stop thinking about the wild card game.
Yeah.
He just did so great. They didn't score for him. They lose. Like, that was just like, it's unfortunate that he could. I mean, they had the Mets. Oh my God, their pitching has just been insane the last several years, and it's so unfortunate that they haven't been able to. I mean, listen, they went to the. I'm not even saying they had. Like, obviously, you want to win a World Series, but they went. But they should have definitely been back, at least close to it, because they haven't, really sniffed the playoffs since 2016. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. It really is. It's crazy.
I'm sick of that.
That was really the last big important game that Syndergaard pitched for the Mets. Not really his fault, but no,
not at all.
In 2017, he only pitched about 1 month, and then he missed the rest of the year. In 2018, he had injuries, and he was okay. 2019, he had an ERA over 4. I mean, Syndergaard, in my opinion, is kind of a guy of unrealized potential, in my opinion. And I know injuries are, not something that you can control, but it is part of a player's profile. And Noah Syndergaard's displayed that he can't stay healthy. And even when he has been healthy, he hasn't put it all together and been an ace other than in 2016. I mean, it's like, yes, the hype is there. I hate that he got called Thor and this whole superhero thing and these weirdos wearing wigs in the stands. Like, I couldn't stand it. I'm glad we don't have to deal with that anymore. But the guy got overhyped. And that's what Mets fans love to do, and it's frustrating. But the Mets did what they were supposed to do. They gave him the qualifying offer, $18.5 million. They didn't cheap out. I don't know if they did or didn't hear back from his agent and have a chance to match or exceed what the Angels offered him. But I can't put too much blame on the Mets for Syndergaard choosing to go to LA, where he can go and post his shirtless Instagram pictures and do his book club like a douchebag he is. So goodbye.
I don't know. I don't believe it, because I've seen the Mets do this so many times. That's the thing. I've seen the Mets do this so many times, and they did this under Sandy so many times as well. And I thought that, we got new ownership now, right? So we won't be doing this. We won't be cheaping out by this much. I mean, I don't get it. It's a 1-year deal. It's not like you're going to lock him down forever.
Okay, and if
he's not good, he's not good.
I want to put this narrative to rest about the whole coming up and in on Alcides Escobar in Game 3 of the World Series. What did he do that game? He gave up a run in the first inning. The Mets went down 1-0. David Wright hits a 2-run home run. We take the lead. Next inning in the second, what does he do? He gives up 3 more runs in the second inning. The Mets were trailing again. Okay? I know he had a big-time showing in the 2016 wild card game. I applaud him. That was amazing. But that whole World Series Game 3 thing is so overrated. He put the Mets behind twice in the first 2 innings. Okay? Goodbye. I hate him.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think like Hayden said, you worked with Syndergaard for 2 years at this Tommy John, and you're gonna give him 2 innings and just basically silence him out after you give him the qualifying offer. I mean, this is one of your guys. Remember how much they invested into Syndergaard? I mean, it's like, I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. And maybe there's something else that we don't know. But I'm just tired of this stupidity of just making excuses for this franchise. I'm getting pissed off, really pissed off.
Last thing, I'm sorry, I know I keep saying that.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have a great person here that can speak to it. That's iTalk, because he's a Red Sox fan, one of the perennial winners over the last 20 years. To the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Dodgers, just hold on to guys because they were homegrown and because the fans feel sentimental about them. I mean, you can answer that better than I can, iTalk, but you guys make the moves that you're supposed to make. I mean, the optics around Syndergaard, 29 years old, that's great. But also coming off this surgery, I mean, to go for $20 million, I don't know. iTalk, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like, there's things that we've done. I mean, okay, the 2018 Red Sox, for example. Everyone, obviously, Dave Dombrowski, without him, he made some key moves that year at the deadline and leading up to it with the signings he made with Price and trading for Sale and Evaldi and Pierce. But Ben Cherington has his – I don't know if you guys probably know who that is, right? Ben Cherington. He has his fingerprints all over that 2018 team because he didn't trade, because of what he didn't do. He didn't trade Mookie. He didn't trade Xander. He could have traded Xander for like maybe Matt Harvey or something. That was something that he could have done. Can you imagine that? I mean, that would have been, and I remember at the time kind of maybe wanting that to happen, and I'm just so happy it obviously they didn't even think about that. But I think there's a time and a place for keeping guys, but I don't know. I mean, the Mets have a lot they need to do, and they already have. I mean, I know. Listen, Cohen's, he's rich as hell, so it's like okay, but I don't know. I mean, you give Lindor all this money, and he's not even doing that well. He didn't do well, and yeah, Frank, you want to say something?
Well, no, I want to say what people are saying in the chat that's actually just tweeted by John.
Oh, yeah, Mets. Yeah.
Mets are interested in bringing back Steven Matz. Like, the Mets they don't learn. That's the thing. They don't learn. We talk so much all year long about recycling the same garbage. And not that Matz is garbage, but it's always the same thing. It's always, let's bring this guy back. Let's bring that guy back. It's always the same guys over and over. It's clear why Steven Matz didn't work out with the New York Mets. Because of the New York Mets. That is why Steven Matz did not work out and why he was successful in Toronto, where nobody cares if he's bad. No one's going to boo him at the ballpark like they did with the Mets. As soon as Steven Matz gave up one home run, he would get booed by the Mets because Met fans are so done with him. And now, let's bring him back because he was good. Then he's going to give up runs again. Get rid of him. I'm sick of this. I'm so sick of this. I mean, like, this is just so them.
ridiculous.
This is why, whether it's Sandy, whether it's Epler, whoever it is, I'm tired of it. You keep bringing back the same guys. And what we've been talking about, we say, oh, keep the core, keep the chemistry. We got to keep this all together. I mean, how many times do you have to see the same exact team fail before you realize we really need just different people? We just have to try something. Maybe they're better, maybe they're worse, but something different needs to be on this team. You don't replace Noah Syndergaard with Steven Matz. I mean, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what I'm coming at from with Matz, what I see it, if they were to bring him back, it would be a lefty in the bullpen. That's what I see.
But he's not you cannot.
But he's not like, that's what I mean. Like, that's going backwards.
That's not a good move. Yeah, for
that's
sure.
just
That's
not
definitely
it.
backwards for you.
That's the same thing with like offering that qualifying offer that they did to Wheeler, and then spending the same amount that Wheeler got from the Phillies and an AAV on Porcello and Waka. Like, that just makes no sense. It's just like, I don't get it. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I knew something.
I mean, I
was
guess
gonna
it's kind of
break
these
through.
kind of go hand in hand in a way. Like, just overall, but back to the original thing I was saying that Tony asked. But I just think, I don't know, it's tough. I mean, obviously we're not GMs for a reason, and I think it's a tough. I mean, a lot of people might have traded Mookie, back in 2014 or something. A lot of people might have traded Soto maybe, when he was 17. I don't know. It's just hard to, but I think there's a time and a place for holding on to prospects, and then there's times where, you need to go get someone. But Chaim Bloom, I'm just so happy that the Red Sox have him, because he's a guy who is all about sustained success, not just going all in now. And I think that's the Mets. Like, I don't really know because they don't really. You guys, what's your farm system rank?
Bad.
It's bad, right? I mean,
middle
what is it,
of the pack.
Something.
So, like, it was like 8. Yeah, lower. I think it was 18
Well,
on
you
baseball.
you got to realize here is that Bloom was the runner-up to Brody Van Wegenen.
I know that.
So
I know
you're kind of flaunting at us right now. So,
wait, you guys chose him over Bloom? I didn't know that. I knew Bloom might have gotten the job, and he for some reason didn't get it, but I didn't know. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the thing.
He built a farm. He built sustained success.
And Brody restructured.
Brody blew it up. Brody blew it up for 186 win season. That was what he did.
Let's still have Jerry Kelenic and not an overrated reliever. So, anyone has to take enough.
We never traded for Seth Lugo. What are you talking about, Frank?
Like, going all
Jesus
in
Christ.
on 1 year just isn't, like, I don't really know what the Mets are trying to do, because they don't have a good farm system. And
no one knows.
Steve Cohen did say, and Sandy Alderson, he's a smart guy. But Steve Cohen did say, like, over a year ago when he got the job, like, I'm not just here to, like, I want to win. I want to build the farm system too. I don't want to just build a good team now. I want to be good in the future.
And
but I don't know what they're going to do. They don't have a good farm
system. And maybe
system.
that's what they want to. And maybe that's what they want to do with getting the draft picks from Syndergaard and
maybe
that's what they wanted to do.
This could end up. I mean, I don't know. Like, you don't really know until like years from now. If it's just so hard to predict it. I mean, you still have degrom. You still have some guy. I mean, Stroman obviously is probably gone, but I mean, I don't know. It's just I don't really know where the Mets go from here, because they didn't. Yeah. They just were bland all year long this year, and meanwhile their farm system isn't really any better. So I don't know. They need to get some young, because I don't know, the Lindor contract. I mean, how do you guys feel about that? I mean, we might be going a little off topic with that, but I'm just curious how you feel about the future of that. Like, what do you think?
This was my biggest thing about the Lindor contract. It's great. Everyone says, money, money, money. Money doesn't win championships necessarily. Look at the Angels, look at the Phillies, look at the Padres. $1 billion with the fee dollar infield. That's why they finished under 500 this season. So listen, I think it's great that Lindor is on the Mets. Do I think he'll have another 2021 season? No. I think he'll definitely burst out of a slump. Do I think he's $341 million worth? Absolutely not. You know, and I
that's
just
that's
feel
the
like-
thing about Lindor that I actually was kind of worried about it. Like even when they signed him, like when they traded for him, it's like okay, like that was good, but then you sign him for all that money, and it's like okay, well here's the thing. If you look at his track record, he's never been a great hitter. He's always been a very good defender and a pretty good hitter, and a pretty good hitter. Like he's been good, above average, but he's not. I don't know. Like obviously
Not
he's
explosive.
Not, yeah, there's nowhere near. He's nowhere near the best shortstop in baseball. Like I mean, I don't really know who would be right now. Maybe Correa, Xander, Story,
Correa, Turner.
one of them.
I'd say it's Correa right now, but you know.
Yeah, maybe because of the defense too. Like he may not be quite he may not be quite as good of a hitter as like Seager, but the defense makes up for it. He's still a great hitter. But yeah, I don't know. The Lindor contract was never like he was already kind of declining. Like he was hitting, not hitting the ball very hard. I don't know. It's kind of scary to see that contract. It could turn out. We'll see what happens. I hope not. I hope Lindor does great. He's one of my favorite players, but he's so fun to watch. I love that guy, but I don't know. We'll see.
I think it'll be fine. Again, like the contract hasn't even started yet.
Exactly.
Like that's the thing.
That is right.
And that's. I mean, we have our whole history of guys not doing well their first year in New York, and towards that end of the year, Lindor started to look better, but like it's the first 2 months he was terrible. Like he was
so bad,
horrific. Like he was awful. I'm not worried about Lindor as a player. I'm worried that you're going to probably waste a prime part of his career trying to, play catch up.
The Mets just don't seem very I
don't get it.
I don't know. Like that division's very interesting. The MVP is in it. They got
World Series champion is in it.
Right. Right. Obviously the Braves, and they should be around the same next year. They didn't have Acuna for the second half. And even the Nationals, I don't know. They could be good. But I really feel like the Marlins have a chance. If they get some better, the bullpen is key with them. And also, a couple hitters. I mean, they could be real. They could win 90 games. I could see that happening. It would be crazy because it's hasn't happened in so long. I don't really count 2020 as a playoff year for them. I just don't really like to count 2020 anymore. It just kind of feels so fake. But the Marlins haven't really made it, and if you think about it, in almost 20 years, and it would be crazy if they made it. But I really do feel like it can happen. That rotation's scary. So the Mets, they have a lot to, I don't know. Well, they got to start getting real smart here. I don't know what they're gonna do.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna move on to here. We may have eased off of our whole topic here. I'm actually going to skip the topic about Marcus Stroman. We'll probably come back to it if we have time. And I'm gonna go and talk about the trade market. Here we go. Okay, so in case y'all forgot, last offseason, we actually just talked about it. The Mets made a pretty big trade. They sent Mad Rosario, Andres Jimenez, Josh Wolf, and Isaiah Green for Francisco Lindor and Carlos Carrasco. Now, is there a trade that the Mets could pursue of this caliber? What should it be this offseason? Being as realistic as you can be, what package you can put in there. So I'll start with a GM perspective. I'll start with the Rhino here.
Yeah, I tweeted it out and I got a little heat for it because it involves a player everybody seems to hate, and it is involve a replacement for Noah Syndergaard. It is the biggest guy on the market, the trade market at least, and then Luis Castillo. I get he's going to cost a lot and he's controllable, but also it's flexibility on a team-friendly deal. He's only making, I think it's $7 million. Yes, it's going to cost you an arm and leg. It's probably going to cost you one of your big three of Mauricio or Beatty or, Vientos and maybe a Gain or Allen, whoever else you want to see in the top prospects. But if you can find a way, Cincinnati looks like they're going to blow it up. I know this name was brought up last year. I know he had a bad year. Eugenio Suarez. Yeah, there's Frank. Here we go. I know it's the same reaction as Twitter said. Here's the deal. Brett Beatty's here in 2 years. That is what I'm dying on, that he is going to be the third baseman of the future. Suarez's deal is up in 2 years. And also, what is this thing? This team needs a power bat opposite that first baseman that we have. It needs some more power. What does Eugenio Suarez provide? Even in a terrible year, we hit, OPS is 713. Don't know what the WRC plus or the OPS plus is, but still ended up hitting 31 homers. Yes, average defender at best. Yes, he's not going to hit free average. Still drove in about 80 runs, hit 31 homers. And again, it's a stopgap, and it's going to cost you less than a Chris Bryant. Probably similar to Eduardo Escobar, and that's why Frank got all upset, because he wants Eddie Escobar. I want him too.
There's nothing in common with Eugenio Suarez and Eduardo.
I'm saying contract-wise. I'm saying contract-wise. I'm saying contract-wise.
They're different.
I know, different. Completely, yes. I was just saying contract number-wise.
Well, with Eduardo Escobar, you don't have to trade any prospects.
That is again.
Earlier, like the farm system is so thin as it is. I don't think Suarez is the guy that I'm gonna.
Well, no, exactly. Yeah.
For. Especially like you say, he's a stopgap guy for.
Again, he's the throw-in. Castillo's the piece. That's why I want this trade. Right. He's not the Suarez is the piece. It's like kind of the Carrasco Lindor deal, where like he is the Carrasco of this deal. If he's a throw-in, obviously, if you just want to trade specifically for Castillo, okay. But I'm saying the Reds are blowing it up. What are they going to use him for? If you can get him to be a throw-in in the trade just to provide some power at third base, a stable glove, again, maybe he bounces back to 2019-18 form. You never again. If he plays in a bandbox in Cincinnati, coming to Citi Field more of a pitcher's park. But again, it's a stopgap, and again, it's a cheaper option. It gives you the financial flexibility. You could still go big for a Stroman or a Gosman because you have Castillo making $7 million and Suarez making $9 million. Or you want to go big in the outfield. It gives you the financial flexibility while also improving your team. Yes, it's going to cost prospect capital, maybe some guys off the major league roster. But I think we all have about 3 guys that are untouchable on this team. Everybody else is fair game. That would be kind of the guys I would target, with Castillo being the replacement for Syndergaard as like the number 2 behind Jake. And then if you can get a throw in, if you can find a way to get a Suarez and not maybe get a lesser package by throwing in Suarez's contract with Castillo, those would be the guy I would look at.
Well, I was talking about you.
Wait, no, go.
No, well, what I was talking about with you last night, Andrew. I was talking about Nick Senzel.
Yep.
Instead of the
Suarez,
you can be a possible like 4th outfield option. That's what we were talking about. I like Nick Senzel. I think there's a lot of potential you need to unlock. He's
former top 20, former top 20 prospect. Had a lot of hype coming out, but then the Reds also went and got Shogo and Castellanos, and Winker finally developed this. He was other top prospect. He developed, so he kind of got.
I mean, what I've heard about trading for him is like the whole excuse I hear is like, oh, if he can't reach his offensive potential in Great American Small Park, then he's not going to get it anywhere else. But like, I don't know. It's something you can consider. It's buying low while trading some of these guys that are extremely. They're probably not going to be here. They probably should not continue from the chemistry and the core that we all know and love. Tony Metro, a trade the Mets should pursue, maybe fix a problem or two or whatever.
I mean, I've mentioned him a lot, but now thinking about it a little more, I don't think there's any way to
Thompson, isn't it?
Who? No, Josh Thompson. It would be Shane Bieber, because I don't think the Indians are built to win now, but the guy's under contract through 2025. I really don't see the Indians pulling the trigger on him. He also is coming off a little bit of an injury season, so maybe some concerns there for a buyer. So they'd be selling kind of low on him right now. So as much as I'd love that, I don't think Bieber's going to be moved this offseason. How about Brian Reynolds from the Pirates? 26 years old, outfielder. I mean, it's
That's
going to cost a little bit, but I mean, he's young and guy hit 24 home runs, 92 RBIs. All the metrics are there too. Again, it's going to cost, and I'm sure the market's hot for him. So the Mets would have to pay up. Quite frankly, I don't want the Mets to make the big trade. I'd rather them go out and spend money. This is a huge free agent market. I'd rather go sign Chris Bryant or also, re-sign Javi Baez or try to get Carlos Correa, get those guys, Nick Castellanos, instead of, spending assets from the farm system when you could just go outright and sign these guys. Yeah, you might lose a draft pick here or there, but, what's worse, that or trading a guy that you actually drafted already, who you already hopefully have belief in, will be a good player. So that's how I feel about it.
All right, Frank, who are you making a deal for? Who are you?
My guy was Brian Reynolds, but he is now off the board. So I guess I have to go with the backup plan. I guess Ketel Marte, and very similar reasons to Brian Reynolds. Little switch hitter aspect, moving him over to replace Conforto, because that's something the Mets are going to have to do, because Conforto's not staying. Like, I think we could all agree on that after seeing what happened with Syndergaard. Conforto is next. So you do got to get a replacement. And I think the only thing that's intriguing about the trade market, a guy like a Brian Reynolds or a guy like a Ketel Marte, is those years of control, because we talked about how expensive this roster is going to be in a very short amount of time. The owners are trying to get the luxury tax to be lowered. So I think that now AAV is going to be more important than ever if that does happen, because they're going to push for it. So I think trying to get somebody like whether it's Ketel Marte or Brian Reynolds would be good. They would help out the team a ton. But like Tony said, I think the Mets right now are in such a weird state of flux. I don't think they even really know what they're doing right now, because the owner is thinking one thing, but I think maybe Billy Up was thinking another thing, and we're thinking another thing too, because we know that they've already committed so much to winning. It feels like they're just going to go all out until that goal is accomplished, which in theory we all want to win. But I feel like seeing the way this team should have been so much better than it was. I mean, I had my questions about them. I thought the Braves were better, but I didn't think this team was going to go under 500. So I just don't think that – and the way that people say right now, just bring back Stroman, bring back Baez. That's all everyone says. Bring back Stroman, bring back Baez. So you have the same exact team as you did in 2021. So, I mean, what's the point of that if you keep having the same team? So that's why I'm not really excited to just trade away everybody and make a big trade if my team is still going to suck. So I think the Mets still need to do another year, make some moves here or there, and again, go quantity over quality, get multiple new players and see what happens. And if that doesn't work, then you could explore more drastic measures. But I just don't think that the way they're set up right now, they should not be doing anything crazy, because they really have a lot of work to do, and just getting one big guy is not going to fix it. We saw that with Lindor. Just making that one big move is not going to fix the several problems that this team has right now.
All right, well, Mets talk with Hayden. Who you dealing for if you were to do it? Is he disconnected? Is he good? Can you hear us?
Did you guys talk with Hayden?
Nope. All right.
Yes.
Guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Guys can hear me?
Yeah.
So what trade would I do? There's not really many trades that necessarily stand out to me. Because this is what I think of when I hear trades and, constantly bringing in free agents, which I would love. Steve Cohen pointed out that he wants the Mets to, not buy championships, but win and build from the ground up. And, I feel right now we've really been seeing a lot of buying. Javier Baez, Francisco Lindor. I mean, those are two important key assets. So I feel bringing in another third would be great, but then you kind of go against what Cullen's saying. But I can care less what that is. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of trades. I mean, third base definitely needs to be addressed. Potentially right field or center field if Nimmo ships over. One guy I've been looking at, Mitch Haniger. Potentially we'll see, maybe he could leave Seattle. I know they're kind of booking on something. And I did state in our free agent prediction stream that I had Michael Conforto possibly going over there, which the Mariners have been pursuing interest. So if that happens, I could definitely see Haniger come to New York. He had a great season last. I mean, I think he hit for a relatively high average, high on base percentage. He, I think, hit at least 30, 35 homers. So maybe the power won't be as big in New York compared to out west. But he could be a good bat and a a solid defensive liability out there. You have Matt Chapman, who, I mean, has also been in talks of, but that'd be a huge bundle package most likely. Chapman, he has above average defense. We know that. But then, I mean, we're kind of looking at it where you have Lindor on the same side as him. And if he struggles offensively, then pretty much your whole left side of the infield is struggling offensively. He's a dude who is a free swinger. He struck out a lot this season. He batted for a low batting average, low on base percentage, did not have a good first half. Second half, he started to look much better, hit for some power. His power really came back in the second half. His defense is there, no doubt about it. You're going to have to trade, I mean, obviously, some big prospects. I mean, we're going to be talking about your Jalen Palmers and Alex Ramirez's, but then you're at least going to have to trade either Beatty, Vientos, or Mauricio, most likely Vientos. But yeah, not many trades that really stand out. I mean, maybe a trade with the Mariners, Mitch Haniger, the Athletics, Matt Chapman. Otherwise, really not that many. Maybe the Twins, Buxton. I mean, if he could stay healthy, he needs to stay on the season. He needs to stay on the field for the full season for me to actually want to give up stuff. But I don't have many trades that really stand out.
All right, iTalk Studios. Is there anything that you think the Mets should pursue here?
I think it's more so a lot that they should do instead of just one thing. I couldn't agree more with what Frank said. I don't think they should trade for a Matt Chapman. I don't think they should trade for any kind of star anywhere. I think they should trade for a guy like Christian Arroyo. Not literally Christian Arroyo, just someone like him. Someone like a Nick Pivetta, a Garrett Whitlock. I'm saying Red Sox terms. I just realized that I'm not even trying to do that. But like, just pick guys who are so under, like, quantity over quality. You don't go all in for one guy. That's not going to help your whole team. You got to help build the farm system and build your team now. So I would just go out and get a ton of different guys who are under the radar and could have the potential to literally have a great season when you have no idea. I mean, I don't think many people thought. I mean, look, the Red Sox this year, they're a great example of that. They have a ton of guys on the team. They wouldn't be where they were without the under-the-radar guys that ended up doing great. The Rays. Yeah, Kike Hernandez. The Rays.
Who Jared Porter wanted to get until everyone found out he was a creep.
Great fantasy.
So you're welcome. Jared Porter being a creep.
The Tampa Bay Rays have been doing this since the beginning of their franchise. Well, since the beginning, like around, 05. They've been doing this for a while. I mean, name really any star on that team. I mean, other than like Nelson Cruz, I mean, who do they have that's a star?
Wander Franco is getting there.
Well, that they bought. I mean, him, they drafted and developed. Yeah. Same thing with all the stars that they've ever had. So that's the thing about the Rays, and I think that the Mets really need to. It's not easy to be the Rays in their way of thinking, but I think the Mets they need to really focus on quantity, getting a bunch of guys, getting just a ton of guys they feel like be low risk, high reward. That is what the Mets should do. Low risk, high reward, tons of guys like that. Yeah, maybe you can. There's no point in putting all your chips in for a Matt Chapman or a Ketel Marte or someone like that, because you could give up too much and then it's just not worth. I mean, you don't have a good farm system as it is. You're not ready to win. At least doesn't look like it right now. So why spend all your time, all your pieces on one guy when you should go out. That's what I feel like the Mets should do. I think they should go out and get a bunch of guys.
I agree with you, iTalk, but I'm going to play devil's advocate here just for a second. I just recently rewatched Moneyball, and one of the scenes is Billy Beane, a.k.a. Brad Pitt, saying to his scouts, if we try to play like the Yankees in here, we will lose to the Yankees out there.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if the Mets try to play like the Rays in their front office,
they're going to lose. Well, think about it this way.
Let's our financial muscle and let's go spend $350 million, have a $400 million payroll this year. Let's blow them out of the water. Let's play like the Mets should play with the richest owner.
I'll tell you what, though. The Rays, I hope you are. No, but yeah, kind of, right, at this point. Oh, did it freeze up?
No, you're good. Maybe something on your end. I'm
It
not
did.
sure.
It froze up for a second for me. Yeah, I froze up. So the Red Sox, I wouldn't say we're trying to copy the Rays. I feel like we're just trying to be smart. Chaim Bloom, literally a guy who's a big reason why the Rays went to the World Series in '08 and have been successful ever since. His mind is really a big reason as to that. And he goes to the Red Sox, and what do? We go to the playoffs, we beat the Rays. So at the same time, yeah, you want to. If you spend all your money trying to spend money and be like the Yankees, you're going to lose them out there in that sense. But I think if you're smart with it and you're not just throwing money around and throwing prospects everywhere to get the hottest guy on the market, then you could really you could beat a team like the Rays or a team like the Yankees or a team like the Dodgers. It could happen. So yeah, I think it's a good point you bring up, Tony. But yeah, no, I mean, hey, the Red Sox beat the Rays. That was, I mean, nobody expected that.
No, I was being facetious, and obviously,
Right.
Chaim Bloom's a disciple of the Rays, and of course, like the modern day baseball is finding value in players. You know, that's how the A's have done it, the Rays have done it, kind of how the Red Sox did it this year. Supercharged with some star power. So, I mean, yeah, that's the name of the game now. You got to find guys that are good at like certain subtle things and, put them in positions to succeed. So, yeah, the Mets definitely, I agree with what you said earlier. Quantity over quality. There needs to be an overhaul with this team.
For sure. Like the Red Sox, they don't have Mookie. They don't have near as much star power as the Dodgers have, and they ended up finishing in the same position that they did. So I just find that
Dodgers.
interesting. I think
Sorry.
they beat the first place team and the Rays, and then they go on to obviously lose in 6 to Houston. But I think they really, obviously you have Xander Bogaerts and Rafael Devers. But other than them, you don't really have any stars. Sale was hurt all year until the end. Valdi came on and it was great. No one really expected that. So, Royo and Tanner Houck and Bobby Dahlbeck and just a ton of guys. Kike Hernandez, Hunter Renfroe. Right away when we signed him, he was awful in the playoffs, but all year he was great. And right when we signed him last December, I was right away like, oh, I could see him being a 30 home run guy. He could be a solid 800 OPS, 30 home run guy, solid guy in the middle of the Red Sox lineup. And he was exactly that. That's just what Chaim Bloom does. And I think that's what the Mets need to do. They don't need to go out and get it's like being a dead horse at this point. It's like, everyone's throwing around all these big name guys, all these fans, and it's just like, you go out and get a Hunter Renfroe. He's who you should be going after.
Yep. Absolutely.
Very low risk, high reward.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I would do. I mean, we've talked about that. There's a few guys that are untouchable, and there's a few guys that are untouchable. You got, I guess, Alonso, Nimmo, degrom. Lindor's going to be here. Baez will probably stay. But I mean, you got your JD Davis. You got your Dom Smith. You got McNeil, who apparently is pissed off with something, obviously.
Francisco Lindor.
Shop those guys around. And get some prospects. Get something. Like, get it. Shop them. I'm done. Like, I can't. I've lost so much attachment to so many of these guys. Like, yeah, okay, great metrics, great this, great that, great this. They can't win. So what's at this point, they can't win. It's like, you have to take everything into account. Of course, I'm a huge numbers guy. I love my numbers, and I love my big, shiny savant page guys. But if they can't win, find something else. Try something new. Like I've said, it's just, I don't get it. I just don't get it. And we're gonna go into our last story of the night, and then we will get into our main event as to why we have everything here. Final story. Luis Rojas is staying in New York, but he's going to the Bronx to be the Yankees' new third base coach. Now, given our recent stint with this man, don't know if we know him pretty well, but I'm gonna let these guys make their final remarks. Some thoughts on the news. What were their initial reactions? What did they like about this? What they didn't like about this? Are they doomed? Like Andy Martino said. Yeah, Luis Rojas is their third base coach. We'll start with his biggest fan. Mets Talk with Hayden. What did you think about this?
I'm surprised I haven't got kicked out of Lone Depot Park for heckling him. Yeah, so obviously I am the biggest Luis Rojas fan, if most of you guys know. Not. Yeah, obviously Rojas going to the Yankees as a third base coach was kind of a surprise. I honestly expected him to really honestly go for a team for a managerial position. When the Mets fired him, I easily said, he could be a good manager down the line, just not in the next 3 to 5 years, and the Mets are in a win-now mode. He could definitely be good for a developing team, whether that is the Padres. I mean, the Mariners have a manager, so they're not really. But, a team that's developing their young stars. I mean, maybe even the National. David Martinez ever goes Kaputskis. Overall, Phil Nevin, he was not the best for the Yankees. We saw what happened in the wild card game, and I think that was kind of the big boiling point for Cashman and the New York Yankees organization to fire Phil Nevin. Obviously, we saw that. I mean, iTalk Studios obviously probably knows what I'm talking about, and most of us. When I forgot who it was, I think it was Stan hit that double off Green Monster, and Phil Nevin waved home Aaron Judge, which obviously really set the things for the Red Sox defense and, of course, the Yankees offense to be slumping with 2 outs. So not really a surprise that Phil Nevin gets fired. Overall, Luis Rojas, I wish Yankee fans the best of luck. He was a terrible manager. I mean, poorly cognizant of what's going on in situations. Barely stood up for his players in the first half of his managerial time and just pretty much seemed dead and had no life inside of him. We'll see how Yankee fans treat him. I'm sure they're not going to treat him with the same respect as Met fans. But, yeah, good luck, Yankee fans. And, yeah, I wish you the best of luck. I mean, the Yankees, they're a team that have power. So Rojas probably won't be doing much waving from third base to home unless the Yankees go out and get some contact hitting.
All right. Hey, I need a Rhino answer about this here. I don't know. Listen, it's showmanship, man. I'm sorry. It's different styles. We're trying out different styles here. Luis Rojas to New York. Is there anything you wanna?
Who cares?
Yeah.
Good riddance. Who gives a shit? He can go play to Japan if he wants. Who cares? He's off the Mets team. That's all we care about it when he's in blue and orange. He's in pinstripes now. Go have fun. Go wave Brett Gardner around. Have fun. Like for me, I saw the news. Mets fan was like, well, "That's the curse of death." I'm just like, okay, cool. He got a job. I knew he was going to get a job somewhere. He doesn't have to move. He might have to drive an extra 20 minutes or maybe half hour to the Bronx instead of Queens. I mean, it doesn't. Go to the Philly. Like it shouldn't matter. Who cares? He's off the Mets. He's out of our hair. Hayden doesn't have to yell at him anymore. It's good riddance.
Exactly. I was getting exhausted from. Effing up. I was getting exhausted from effing up Rojas. I mean, listen, I was going to get banned from Lone Depot Park because of this bum. I mean, not good. I mean, Lindor is going to be the next thing for me in Lone Depot Park, but we'll see.
Tony. Luis Rojas is gone. He left us. What do you think?
Does Luis Rojas even have enough energy in his body to wave his arm around? Like, this guy is like zero. Like, he is always just like right here, even keel. Like, are they gonna have to spray him with WD-40 before the games to make sure all the bolts and nuts are working for him to, be able to wave guys home? I mean, I've called him a robot for a while now. It's literally what he is. I don't know how he's gonna do the job, but I mean, come on, who cares? This is irrelevant. A third base coach, great. I mean, what do they really do other than coach third base? I mean, I know there's maybe like talk to the players and stuff in the dugout about certain things. And, he has this background as a, I don't know, what was it, like information delivery, whatever
Quality
it was,
control
analytics, whatever. I mean, it means
coach.
nothing to me. I don't care. It's goodbye and good riddance.
I just thought we would get our last thoughts in about our favorite person. So speaking of favorite people, we talked about Gary DiSarcina as the best man at Frank's wedding. Here's one of the groomsmen, Luis Rojas. Frank, he's gone. Yep. He left you.
Yes, thank God. It was a mutual decision. So Yankee fans were very, very mad about Phil Nevin sending home Aaron Judge all day on the fan, all week on the fan, all month on the fan. They were, hey, this guy Phil Nevin, he waved home Judge and the Yankees didn't win. So now, next year when the Yankees are facing the Red Sox, if they even get that far, the Yankees, I mean, not the Red Sox, when Aaron Judge is about to score, don't worry. And it's a one he definitely should score. Luis Rojas is going to hold him up so that for the next week, the next month, those same fans can call, hey, this guy Rojas, he didn't send Judge, and then the Yankees lost. So, like, they're going to go from a guy that's too aggressive in Phil Nevin to a guy who's probably going to be too conservative in Luis Rojas, because that is Luis Rojas, Mr. Conservative. And no, I'm not talking about the political affiliation. I'm talking about his managerial approaches. So, I mean, that's just the way Rojas was. Don't bunt. Gary DiSarcina, don't send anybody. Don't steal any bases. Don't do anything. Don't show any emotion. Like Tony said, he's probably too busy working out. His shoulder's going to be too sore to wave guys around anyway. So, I mean, I just can't wait. I'm super excited so that Yankee fans could know what I felt, because it is not a fun feeling having Luis Rojas as a member of your coaching staff. And I think they're going to learn. Unless Luis Rojas does it would piss me off if all of a sudden Luis Rojas actually is Mr. Aggressive and starts sending everybody. And then Gary DiSarcina starts sending everybody with the Nationals. I don't know what I would do, honestly. I mean, that would just be like the ultimate plot twist, which with the Mets wouldn't surprise me. But I think it's going to be very interesting for sure. I mean, especially if he is the way he was with the Mets, so conservative. And the Mets had Gary DiSarcina as the third base coach, but also the guy who aligned their infield defense. I don't think the Yankees are going to give Luis Rojas those same privileges of being able to align the defense. But if they do, get ready for a lot of hits against the shift, a lot of hits with nobody home. So it's going to be fun. I can't wait.
All right, well, iTalk Studios, this is your all-time rival here. If Luis Rojas sends somebody, do you think Hunter Renfroe's gonna unleash the cannon? I mean, is there any thoughts you got on this? I mean, he's going to your division.
Yeah, I just think I didn't really think much of it. I actually was kind of surprised that he is the third base coach now with the Yankees. It was just kind of random, but I was not shocked at all when he was not the Mets manager anymore. I just thought that wasn't going to work out, and I guess I'm just more interested and curious to see who next takes that job for the Mets. So that'll be interesting.
All right. Well,
and
I mean,
very happy Brad Osmus.
Yeah.
Or Buck Showalter is the other name I saw. Stop.
Yeah. That can be that can be a whole other discussion. Now, I for one. I think Rojas is going to do good with the Yankees. I'm not going to lie. I do think he's going to do good with the Yankees. I've said it before. He's a great clubhouse guy. He's likable as a coach, but he's just not a major league manager. I mean, I'm happy for him. I think he's going to do great things. I mean, I'm going to be the nice one here. All right, so I think I'm going to actually revert back to the other pitching question that we skipped, because I think I managed time pretty bad. What else is new? Okay, so Thor's gone. Like we said earlier, that blooms the question about another free agent that the Mets have, Marcus Stroman. Now, Mike Mayer tweeted out a few days ago that an executive source believes Stroman will get an AAV of $25 million for about 5 or 6 years. Now with the potential $18.4 million that you're not giving to Syndergaard, should the Mets be willing to overpay
for Marcus Stroman in this sense. And I'm talking 25 to maybe 30 million a year because there's going to be bidders on him. So
yeah, I just wanted to say really quick, I probably have to go in about like 10 minutes if that's okay. I mean, yeah, but I definitely
it's not okay. We didn't give you permission beforehand.
Yeah,
what do you mean? Is it okay? What do I look like, your mom?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. But yeah, I gotta go eat. So, but no, I could still stick around for about 10 more minutes. But maybe I could. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So my time management is it's still okay. So, should the Mets be willing to overpay for Stroman? Frank about sports. I know you got an opinion on this one, very heavily. So I'll give it to you here.
I might surprise you. I've talked a lot about Stroman being a priority, but like I was talking about earlier, I don't really think there's anybody that's worth overpaying for. You know what I mean? Like the Mets should not be willing to go over $30 million for Marcus Stroman, and I don't think that because Noah Syndergaard didn't take the qualifying offer, that doesn't mean you give an extra $18 million to Marcus Stroman. If you want to give an extra $2 to $3 million to Marcus Stroman's AAV offer that you had, that's fine. Anywhere from the 25 million to 27 at most. I'm always more concerned about the years. I try not to worry about money. I always think years is what's going to get you in big trouble, because if, let's say, the Mets sign Stroman to a 7-year deal, by year 6, year 7, you're like, oh my gosh, we're still paying this guy. But if you only have him for 3 years, 4 years, the money's kind of irrelevant, because by the time he's not as effective, then he's off your team. And you would hope that with the richest owner in baseball, AAV wouldn't be more of a problem. So when it comes to anybody, I'm always concerned about years. So I think if he wants $25 million, I think that's perfectly acceptable. That's perfectly reasonable. I would give it to him. He's definitely well deserving of it. But again, I'm more concerned about the years. If he wants 7 years or even 6 years, it would be really pushing it. 5 is my max. So that's how I would look at it. But he definitely should be a priority. But you can't overpay for him. If it's good, if it means that you're not going to get other pitchers as well, then there's no point. Because if you could get Kevin Gausman and somebody else, or another pitcher and somebody else, I think that's what the Mets need, because we know they need depth. They got to keep all their bases covered, so to speak, because with all the injuries they had and all the injuries that could happen, because they were lucky that Taijuan Walker finally got through a whole year healthy. And I mean, you don't know what's going on with DeGrom and Carrasco. Those guys can get hurt and snap of a finger. So I think they've got to be prepared. If you just re-sign Stroman, you're going to be, like I said before, you're going to be the same predicament as you were this year. So they definitely got to still keep in mind that whole idea of getting multiple pitchers, because they're going to need the depth really badly.
Okay. Hayden, should the Mets be willing to overpay for Stroh now that they've lost Syndergaard?
Yeah, I mean, I feel even regardless if you kept Noah Syndergaard, you're only giving him $18 million. So is it really that much? I guess in terms of you would be giving Marcus Stroman, I guess 5 to 10 extra million annually. So I don't really think it's that crazy much of a deal to talk about. Personally, I probably would. I think of it right now, you have to look at who's on the market right now. And I mean, you really only have, listen, there are a lot of adequate pitchers on the market, but not many of them are really in their prime. You don't have a whole lot of them in their prime. You do have some nice veterans in there that could definitely, solidify, a solid ball game for you, but you really don't have a whole lot, I feel. And even if there is a lot, they're going to go quick. Personally, I would give Marcus Stroman a contract. He pitched one of his best seasons on his contract season, which also makes me a little iffy. Is he kind of trying to just play the Mets? But that's, we'll talk about it briefly. I kind of question, is he really the player he's supposed to be? In 2020, he opted out because he didn't want to get, I guess, hurt and ruin his value. But that's besides the point if he's actually using the Mets. He had a great season, splitter slider on point. He was keeping the ball on the ground, wasn't keeping the ball in the air. I really liked what I saw with Stroman. He was giving you the innings. I think he really just had 1 or 2 bad games. I think one of them was that Pittsburgh game, and I think the Red Sox game, I believe. Otherwise, he really had a good game. He really had a good season. Overall, I liked what I saw with him. He's 30 years old. I would have no problem giving him a 4-year deal. That would really be nice. And I think you really got to bring back Stroman right now, because look at the current Met roster for pitching. You have DeGrom, who is elite, but you still question his health. You have McGill, sophomore slump, questionable. I don't know. Peterson, I don't know what the Mets are going to do with him. He was terrible last season and was injured. What is he going to pitch like? And then that's pretty much, Carlos Carrasco. And what is Carlos Carrasco going to be a all Met guy? So I don't really know. So I really think you're going to have to bring back Stroman. I think he's willing to stay here. I think he likes New York. I think he likes his buddy Lindor, Edwin Diaz, Javier Baez. I think he has that connection. So I think he could definitely stay. And if he wants to win, I think it's a possibility. So I would be willing to overpay Stroman. Not super much. I'd give him 4 to 5 years. But kind of like what Frank said, it's more the years just because, once you get to that 30-year-old age for pitchers, that's when you got to start to be more aware.
Okay. Tony Metro. Should the Mets be willing to overpay for Stroh now that Syndergaard's gone?
Yeah, on one condition, he gets rid of his Twitter account and all other social medias. The guy is a good pitcher. Obviously, he was probably the best pitcher on the Mets roster in terms of, his longevity. He pitched the whole year. I think he's a solid number 2. I think you could do better for a number 2 starting pitcher than Stroman, but given the state of the Mets rotation, given the free agents available and trades, I don't see a whole lot in either of those departments. I do think that it is very important that the Mets retain Marcus Stroman. I'm not really sure what an overpay means. Like, are we talking like $3 million more average annual value than what I'm willing to do? I mean, personally, what did Wheeler get? Was it 5 years, $106 million, $110 million?
116 million? Was that it? 5 years? Yeah.
It's number 5.
Yeah, so basically
110-ish, somewhere around there.
Yeah, basically what we're asking is we lost Syndergaard. We have Stroman, who's like the only one out of all the free agents that, have proven that they can pitch in New York. Should the Mets use that, to overpay for it?
Right.
Like,
I'm speaking rhetorically. If you look at what Wheeler got, oh my God, how amazing would that have been for us? Or, how amazing is it for the Phillies? They have an ace at that kind of a deal. It's unbelievable. They got a great bargain there. Stroman, I'm guessing, is probably going to be asking for more than that, just given the nature of the market, which I'm not saying is right. I'm just saying that's kind of Stroman's character. I think he's going to be asking at least his starting price at 130 or 140. I don't think he's getting that, but I'm not going over 110 for Stroman. And I think he's going to have bidders out there. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go to a team that's kind of like trying to take that next step, but they need the pitching. Someone like the Seattle Mariners, maybe, that think they're ready, on the doorstep of playoff contention. And they say, okay, we'll do 120 for Stroman. Yeah, sure. So the Mets are going to have heavy competition, but it is very important that they do their best to get him back or otherwise find a way to replace him. And that could be tough.
All right. iTalk, do you think the Mets should overpay for Stroh now that we lost Syndergaard?
Overpay, no. I think they should give him an offer, and if he doesn't want it, I mean, even though you lost Syndergaard, just let him go. Again, I guess I'll have to go back to what I said last time. It's just quantity over quality. You shouldn't be giving so much money to. I actually really like Stroman. I think he's a great pitcher. Overall, like, he's someone who solid number 3, number 2. You would know this though, Mets fan. Was his FIP a little higher this year?
I'm not the biggest FIP fan, but
no, why not?
I don't know. I'm just not. It's kind of just like a. I won't completely get into it. It's kind of just like, yeah.
We'll have to talk more about this later.
Like, more like that Sierra type of. I like a lot more percentages for pitchers because that's kind of like.
Yeah. Okay. What about XFIP? You don't like that either?
XFIP's okay. It's like
Sierra's the best one. You think?
I guess. I don't fully commit to any one of them. I'm kind of a bachelor with all pitchers.
Okay, interesting. But with Stroman, I don't think he's worth. I mean, no, not really anyone's worth $30 million. So I think they should just. I think the Mets should go out, get a bunch of under the radar guys. I don't think they need to. If they can get Stroman back, awesome. Go ahead, go do it, please. But If not, get a bunch of guys that have the capability of really turning out to be a big surprise. And if they don't pan out, then it's not a big deal. Because if Stroman, you sign him to $30 million, he could easily, like a guy like degrom, he's going to be amazing. But with Stroman, it's like he could be really good, but at the same time, he could have the potential. He has the potential to have a really down year or two, and then you're paying him all this money. So I just don't think that would be the smartest thing to overpay for him.
iTalk, how would you feel about Eduardo Rodriguez's contract with the Tigers? Did you like the Red Sox? Like we talk about Syndergaard outbidding. Do you like the Red Sox to not outbid? Or do you think Erod got a fair value there?
I do like that the Red Sox didn't outbid the Tigers for him, because I just think I love Erod. He's a great pitcher, great guy, but I think the Tigers, I think where they are, they have such a low payroll, so they can do it. But the Red Sox, I don't think it would have been smart to give Erod the money that the Tigers did when you have all this money on the books and you're trying to cut payroll too to spend money on other guys. It's like, I really would have liked to see Erod stay, but I don't think it would have been smart for the Red Sox to outbid the Tigers on that.
Didn't they give Erod a multi-year
extension? Yeah, they did, and then the Tigers outbidded them, and that was that. Yeah,
but still, it's like $15 million AAV, which we talked about with Noah. He was going to get like $18 million with the qualifying offer. So AAV wise, it's still one, and we're talking about Sean maybe 25 or more. That's a pretty good price in the pitching market for 15.
Yeah, the thing with Erod too is he did a lot better than it showed this year. On the surface, like he was a lot better than that. One of the unluckiest pitchers in baseball this year. So I think the Tigers made a really smart move by getting him, especially a team that's on the up and coming, and they add him to the rotation, get some other guys. Like the Tigers look exciting. They're going to be exciting. I wonder what they're going to do. But yeah, I'd say it was a good move for Detroit, a great move for Detroit actually. It would have been a kind of mad deal for the Red Sox to sign him to that. Because Erod, at the end of the day, even though even though he was a lot better than what it showed this year, he still hasn't really proven. He's not really a proven pitcher. So I don't think it would have been smart for the Red Sox to dish up money for him like that.
I love the Eddie Ace's propaganda from
Eddie Ace's
from
Carabas.
My guy my guy Power Hour Sam on Twitter. You see, it's hilarious. It's awesome. Who did I miss? Anybody miss?
Rhino.
Stroman. Should they go for him? What do you think?
I wouldn't touch it, because if you look at the market, Erod got $15 million, and two pitchers who threw a combined 2 innings got $20 million per. Yes, obviously one was a 3-time Cy Young and a former MVP, and Syndergaard again has the perception of being an elite pitcher, even though result-wise hasn't been. So you're talking about guys who didn't pitch last year, pitched 2 innings, and a guy who had probably his best year of his career, and is 30, but he has the kind of stuff where he will age well, because he doesn't throw 100. He doesn't rely on his crazy, 100-mile-an-hour heat like Syndergaard does. He, funky mistiming, with the funky deliveries and all that. Should the Mets do it? Again, he's probably going to be close to $30 million per. Is that the guy you want to give $30 million? I kind of see it as like the Yankees, where they have their 3 big $30 million contracts. Are you willing to give that to Stroman? I'm not. Should we be in the conversation? See how it goes. You're going to get into a bidding war. And again, like I said, Seattle, even maybe Detroit might not be done. Yes, they got Casey Mize, they got Schoolboy, they got Matt Matting. Now they have Erod in their rotation. Who says Detroit doesn't go crazy and add him too? So there's going to be plenty of teams interested in him. I just think he'll be outbid by the Mets, but also if you don't sign Stroman, Osman's going to be expensive. Him coming off a good year. Robbie Ray just won the Cy Young. Debatable if he deserved it, but still won the Cy Young. So yes, Stroman is going to be expensive, but what are the other guys? They're going to be probably equally as expensive if you want to get a replacement. So, you got to pick and choose. Do you prefer the guy who's done it in New York compared to a guy you don't know if he can pitch in New York? That, Frank brings that up all the time. You want to see a guy who can produce in New York compared to a guy who you just hope he pitched really well in San Francisco or Detroit or, some Midwest or West Coast team. You come to New York, not guarantee he's going to be the same type of pitcher. So would I overpay for him? No, but I would be in the conversation until the end and kind of see where the benchmark ends.
With that, I think I'm gonna have to head out. But
All right.
I really appreciate you all for having me on. It was a blast, and I'm definitely gonna want to be on. Now that the off season's here, I'm gonna want to.
Oh yeah.
I definitely want to be on more. So, yeah, thank you very much for having me on. It was a fun time.
Thank you.
All right.
Yep. All right. Yeah. What happened to Tony?
Oh,
He
he
departed.
had to head out as well.
Oh, he just That's unfortunate.
Oh, you know what I just realized? We didn't ask Tony. I'm so dumb. The Syndergaard home run with the pitcher.
Yo, Fat, I'm surprised he didn't bring that up in his video. I am so shocked he didn't
Yeah,
do
we
that.
didn't ask him.
What you do with the picture.
I was thinking of asking him about that with the Syndergaard, how he got them, but yeah. So, but yeah, thank you for having me on, guys, and I'll be on probably again soon. So,
Cool.
Yeah.
See you, man.
All right.
I'll
See
see
you,
you. Talk to y'all later.
That's right. I forgot he caught
I
Syndergaard.
always feel like I'm forgetting something. Like
Yeah,
that's
the home run ball he hit in LA. And
Yeah.
Tony caught it. He has a
God.
picture.
I'm surprised he didn't put it in his video. I'm like, that would have been the perfect goodbye, a high home run ball or whatever.
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm forgetting something. So welcome to the club.
Hour and a half into the episode. Let's get to what you guys
Yeah.
must pay for.
Yeah. All right. So it's now time for Wheel of Free Agency, guys. Wheel of Free Agency, because we love wheels here, and we like cool graphics too. So I'm going to add the wheel here. I'll tell you guys how this works. It's pretty simple. Just making sure I have the right one open. Cool. All right.
Noise.
So, just making sure. Okay. Now, Wheel of Free Agency, guys. It's very simple. We spin this wheel of 68 free agents, pretty much the well-known ones. Obviously, we had almost, I think it was 100 last week or whatever for the Mets buy or sell. But now we kind of narrowed it down to some of the guys. If any of them sign while we're doing this, we'll take them off. But we're obviously going to predict where we think they're going to go in the free agency on the roundtable once we pick that up. Yeah, pretty simple.
Can I get the ball then? If you're gonna get rid of the ball, can I at least have the ball?
I actually wrote that. That's not.
Okay.
Oh,
that was me.
you wrote that? That's
Frank
good.
Frank loves to impersonate people. It's bullshit.
Yeah. All right. So, Wheel of Free Agency, guys. We're gonna spin it, and we'll see. Predict where we think they are going to go.
And sorry, guys, we are cutting Carson's criteria this week. We are out of time, so we're just getting the wheel.
Yeah. You wish. Oh shit.
Oh, here we go.
So this one might actually go pretty quick.
This should be it. Yeah, this should.
Albert Pujols. Where's he gonna go? I mean, I guess I'll start it off. I think he's gonna go to a team that's young, to be a vet. So maybe something like, I don't know, Baltimore. Maybe something like Texas. Something like that. I don't know. Something with young guys. Or maybe the Dodgers bring him back. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Baltimore too, but I think Seattle could look at him. Texas, if we talk so much about those two teams being young and upcoming, learn from him. Because
the DH is coming. The DH is coming.
If the DH is coming, then the Cardinals become more possibility.
I think St. Louis is the best pick. He started his career there. He started his Hall of Fame career there. Ended there. I mean, regardless, you have the DH coming. I mean, maybe every now and then, like on the seventh day, you could give Goldschmidt the DH or give him a day off. You could throw Pujols out there. Obviously, he's not the best defender. But, if you need someone to play out there today, he could. Otherwise, he could be a bench kind of morale guy like we saw the Dodgers use them in the postseason this year.
I would think with the lineup St. Louis has, they're going to add somebody that is better than Pujols. That would be the DH, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm not replacing an elite defensive first baseman.
No,
Paul Gold, unless you're like 20 games ahead of the division, you're like, throw him out there for old time's sake. He's a legend.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't. Other than that, I guess so. Like a young team, or come back to the Cardinals.
I
guess
think
that's
Pujols
what
wants some playing time because maybe he wants
Yeah.
to maybe try to stay as far as he can get in the home run total. I mean, because he's up there
Maybe.
with the all-time greats. So he needs.
How
more
close is
ABs.
he to 700?
I don't think he'll be able to get.
He's
there,
not going to
but-
get it. Yeah.
Yeah, but he might probably get as close as he possibly could, and you need it. And I don't think he gets many ABs with the Cardinals. As much as like he should go to them and retire them, like we said, maybe by the end of the year that could happen. But for the Cardinals, I don't think that makes sense. For him, yes. For the Cardinals, not so much.
He's still got his house in St. Louis. I'm just saying.
He's 17 behind A-Rod for number 4. So
He would have to play every day to pass him.
Yeah, and
I don't know if any team's going to play him every day.
he's still got dingers in him though. He's still got the
against
Against
left-handed
lefties.
pitcher. Hey,
Yeah,
the Mets
So
need
that's
that.
lefties.
Take shithead out the lineup.
A team that needs a
what's it
lefty
called?
killer.
Mets need it. Yeah.
Interesting. That would be hilarious. Could you imagine?
That would be the little
That would be
small
such
Mets
a
thing.
typical Mets. Get the guy after his career, big years. Oh, we have MVP.
Hey, I'm all for him, bro. If I was there in New York, autographs, I'll take Full Soto.
Ooh,
The Deke. The Deke.
Rhino.
Oh, this is me and Mets fan.
Where's he
right? Loving
going? Love this guy. I love Jake Diekman.
it. Love
Love
me
this
some Deke.
guy.
Phillies. But can't even
Phillies?
say it. Phillies. They got Jose Alvarado. If they had Diekman and Alvarado as their lefties, that improves their bullpen. And Deke's just elite.
Frank, what do you think?
Where
Where do you think they go?
I feel like Tampa would be cool for him, but if he's gonna get a lot of money, then Tampa would not be the team.
I think there'll be interest. I don't know what the AAV would be, but I think a lot of teams would be interested in Devil. I would take Tampa out. I think if you put him in Tampa Bay, oh my god!
Yeah, that's what I'm
that,
saying.
but-
Like he would be so good.
I'd be. I'd
I
love him on the
would-
Mets, but I don't. think
I would love him on the Mets. But a team that's maybe like a bullpen piece away, Tigers. It's a possibility, maybe.
Him, Soto, Fulmer. That's not a bad little bullpen. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Soto,
It's not a
Former
three-headed
All-Star Joe
monster.
Jimenez. I mean, yeah.
Joe Jimenez,
good.
former. That's a fact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hayden, got anywhere that Deke can go? Do you know who Deke is?
He helped me
He's a
out.
good MLB The Show card. I know that.
Oh, he's a nasty MLB to show card.
He helped me out a little bit in fantasy this past season, so it does touch my heart a little bit. Otherwise, he's like 35, so I don't know, a team that I guess is looking for a bullpen search, or maybe a team that's trying to. I mean, maybe the Mariners. I mean, they kind of scarfed up their bullpen a little bit this past season at the deadline, so maybe you want to get a nice arm in there. So maybe the Mariners. I mean, I see Phillies. I mean, they're always in need for bullpen search. They have one of the worst bullpens out there. Seattle, Philly. I guess Tampa Bay, because just they get everyone and fix them, and I guess we could kind of need that.
All
Yeah, I don't
right.
know. Funny, but
Next one, boys.
Let's go. Let's get an actual big one. Come on.
No, I like going random, obscure,
You like the
good
random
MLB the
one?
show.
Oh, yeah, I
I like
like
the
it.
good
Okay,
MLB
this
the
is a
show.
good one. This is a good one. I like this.
Oh,
I like this one. All right.
Oh.
Kyle Seager. Not related to Bob Seager. Night moves, yeah.
But related-
But really, yeah. Hayden, anything for Kyle Seager?
I mean, obviously, I think his brother Corey is going to have much more attention. Otherwise, Kyle Seager, how old is he now? Was
mid-30s, like 34, 35.
he's 34. He definitely still has some pop in his bat. I think we saw he hit like 30 homers this season, so he definitely has some pop. He could hit for some power. However, that was out west, so I don't know how much that would transfer over to East Coast. Although he does have some good pop in his bat. It's an adequate third baseman. Obviously, I think his brother Corey, the shortstop, is going to be getting much more attention. Kyle Seager, I'm not going to say the Mets. Well, honestly, it could be the Mets. If the Mets want to go the short-term route and keep their eyes on Beatty, Mauricio, or Vientos at third base. That would be your short-term route right there if you're not going to go after a big, long-term Correa, Chapman, Bryant. That would be my move there. However, I don't think that's going to happen. Kyle Seager, it's unfortunate he's not going back to the Mariners. Maybe I could see Bryant going to the Mariners. Where is Kyle Seager going to sign? I'm like, what? Maybe Philly? I mean, do you trust Alec Boehm at third base? That could be a solid spot.
He's still in AAA. He's got.
Do you think Toronto would consider replacing Biggio with him for the time being, or no?
I could see that.
I think if the Mets bring in Seager, you're going to have to buy high on outfield, though. You're going to have to. You're going to have to do that.
I'm kind of on board the Suzuki train.
Yeah, I wanted Sugano, man. I wanted Sugano.
Andrew doesn't get the answer. I got it.
Even though Suzuki hit a bomb off Sugano.
It's a fact. That is a fact.
Oh, bring them both.
Bring them both.
Why not both? As the
Andrew, where's Seager going? Kyle Seager.
Kyle Seager is going to the hat Hayden is wearing, the San Francisco Giants, to replace Chris Bryant.
What about Longo?
Oh shit! They got Longo there. I forget my favorite player. I forget Longo's there. That's sad because he's my favorite player.
Doesn't Kyle Seager play the corners?
Yeah, he plays first and third, according to MLB The Show.
No.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
According to MLB The Show.
No, they brought back.
And they brought back Bell. I mean, maybe he's a DH, but
yeah, they brought back Bell. Yeah,
he could have more possibilities as a DH. He could.
I don't know. I forgot Longo plays there. That's sad.
You sound stupid now. What's wrong with you?
Especially as a Longoria mark, I am disappointed in myself. Just disappointed. Spin the wheel. Let's get
I would think he would go back to the Mariners with the whole crying thing, but then we still have Conforto. Like, you don't cry like that unless you're going to leave. Right?
Okay. Yes. There you go. Cry. Get it. Who we got?
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Clayton. Where's Clayton going?
Do some more Hancock commercials. Or whatever the hell this commercial is.
Hancock?
He's going to stay in LA, but he's going to the Angels.
Yeah, I said that over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I totally didn't steal it from a tremendous video made by a better content creator.
It's crazy how the Dodgers have just like...
Yeah, I think it's just they're gonna go out with Max Scherzer. I mean,
did they cut ties?
And don't forget, Dustin May is coming back. I mean, and Kershaw was hurt, so that's a big part of it. And
Kershaw's still better than Walker Buehler.
So no, he's not. Stop the cap.
He's still better than him.
He has a higher hits per nine than Kershaw's 99 signatures. Calm down. Just calm down.
I see the Angels.
Did the Dodgers basically cut off conversations with Kershaw?
I guess. I haven't heard anything. Yeah, I saw an Angel rumor, and that's about it. Like the Angels being interested in him, but that's really because like think Bauer opted.
The Dodgers on that particular.
If I'm the Mets, I'd take a flyer.
But also think about it. Who are you going to pay big money to, Scherzer or Kershaw? I guess you kind of have to pick. You got to pick Scherzer.
Scherzer's the guy. I mean, he's the guy.
Plus, and Bauer, and he opted into his $40 million or $45 million, whatever.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So whether he's pitching or not, he is on the payroll.
Exactly. So
that's
not that payroll has stopped the Dodgers before.
That is very true.
I'd take a spin on Kershaw.
Hayden,
I'd take a flyer if I'm the Mets.
I would too, but Hayden, you got something.
Hayden with Kershaw.
I mean, the Dodgers. I mean, this would be like the type of guy to play with this whole team for his life. I mean, Kershaw. You'd think he would want to stay. I mean, you could really try to work something out of him. We saw that. Unfortunately, he didn't get to pitch this past postseason. He was able to tangle up his postseason struggles in 2020, and you'd think you'd like to give him another chance in 2022. Most likely, they'll make the postseason then. Overall, he seems like a type of guy to want to stay with his team for, MVP, 3-time Cy Young Award winner. I mean, you would want to start where, you would want to finish where you started. Yeah, I get it. They have Max Scherzer. But they have a rotation of guys. I mean, they've always had a rotation of seven, guys that could really qualify for the rotation role. Urias, Buehler. They have the guys. Point is, I'm saying he'll resign with the Dodgers.
I just don't see him anywhere else.
That's what I think. I mean, are the Angels really going to go out and just acquire a whole rotation in one offseason after they didn't get one for 6 years? I mean, people are saying the Rangers. I want to
have 2 unanimous MVPs on their team. They have got to do whatever it takes to bring 2 unanimous MVPs.
This is what I don't get. People say Kershaw to the Rangers. Okay, the Texas Rangers just traded away Kyle Gibson and Joey Gallo. They pretty much traded their whole entire team. Besides Adolis Garcia, we'll see how he goes next year. Hopefully good. Point is, Rangers traded away Gibson and Gallo at the deadline. They're literally in a rebuild. They're waiting for their prospects, catching prospects Sam Huff. They're pitching prospects to be called up, which probably isn't going to – it could be 2022, maybe 2023. The Rangers – why do people think the Rangers are going to all of a sudden acquire Trevor Story, Clayton Kershaw, and like 5 other, big-name guys in one offseason? Like, can someone explain that to me?
Probably the same line of thinking as Detroit. If you have young prospects coming, you want to show that you want to compete now.
But look what they finished with this season. I mean, look where the Tigers finished. They had the same record as the Mets. And they were above 500 in the second half. The Rangers
eventually the Rangers have to compete again. I mean, they were in the World Series and whatever year that was against the Giants.
Call up Josh Hamilton from the cell.
The Tigers do. You have Mize, Turnbull, Schoolbowl, Manning. Yeah, 3 years, 4 years. And that's it. And then I mean, they're signing extensions. I mean, Candelaria. I mean, I don't know. I just don't get it with the Rangers. Like, people say they're going to start.
All right.
I just don't get it. Maybe it's just me.
Oh, Lord. Talk about shit MLB The Show cards. Holy Jesus.
I know exactly who I'm picking here.
I think I know who you're picking, too, because that's who I'm thinking of picking.
The Long Island Ducks.
Frank, you can.
I was going to say the Yankees.
Yes! Yep. Yes! You're not... apparently they're not going for a shortstop. For a big shortstop.
So then they need to upgrade defensively at shortstop over Glaber.
Why not?
Qualify.
Why
but
not?
He's not going to fix their offensive problem. That is
sure. Trade a good
Billy card for Herb, by the way, getting Anderson Simmons. That was quite a Billy
I want them to get Freddie Galvis. That's what I want.
Switch Phillies legend.
He kind of has a lefty bat sometimes.
Dilson Herrera, I'm pretty sure, is available.
Dilson, very true. Jed Lowry.
Yeah.
Yankees, I'm thinking. And the other one, I'd say if they luck out with Correa, Detroit.
How about Oakland?
Yeah, that kind of screams an Oakland guy. Yeah.
They're tied down
maybe 2 years
with
ago.
Andres. They're tied down with Andres.
Elvis Andres, yeah.
Yeah. Right. They're fucked with him. Why? Like, why did they trade for him?
Okay, whatever.
Anyway.
Wasn't it with Chris Davis' contract?
Yeah, it was Davis for Andrews.
And they brought him back.
Yeah, well, such a cheaper deal.
Yeah.
Man.
They literally took a contract. The A's took a contract of like $19 million a year from Elvis Andres, but weren't willing to give that qualifying offer value that was offered to Simeon. That Simeon took with.
That sounds like Brody Van Wagner move with Zach Wheeler.
Interesting.
How many times were we gonna bring him up? I mean, it's like that man died in the past.
Dude,
Brody's brain damaged. Oh, man. Okay.
Tub.
All right.
Got someone good.
Let's get someone good here.
We need some MVP.
I eliminated
like Correa.
We need a
many
big
guys.
fish.
Okay. No, he's a good one. He's a good player.
Oh God, this is.
iTalk was still here.
Cincinnati. They need a shortstop. Okay. There you go.
Even though
this is another guy.
India plays second. They got India at second.
I think Detroit. I think if Detroit lucks out on Correa, I think they bring back Jose Iglesias. That's what I think.
Okay, Matt.
Good bet.
Bring back the old dude.
Why not? They're young.
Yeah. I mean, he played really well for. I said in the video, he played really well for Boston in September. Maybe they want to revisit that because they couldn't have him in the postseason. You wonder maybe things would have been slightly different if they had one more bat. I don't know. I know iTalk likes Christian Arroyo, but Iglesias played better than Christian Arroyo as a Red Sox.
Get shit on. There you go.
Iglesias. I'd take him on the Mets. Why not? Oh, I'll take him.
No, we got.
We have
Replace
so many
VR?
second basemen, and-
To
we got
replace VR?
Lindor's the same
the
thing. We
bench?
already got one of those. Like a
He's
defensive
willing to
badass.
take a bench role.
Platoon roll.
I don't know. I think he can start on teams though, so why would he?
Yeah, that's true.
The Mets have no appeal. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's
Okay,
that.
I like this one.
ML again. Now we're getting some good M. Back to the M. But good MLB the show cards. You gotta love it.
All right. Mark Can.
Giants.
Yeah, Giants. I like it. I like that.
Replace Chris Bryant. Mark Hanna.
It's not a bad one. Who needs like an outfielder / if desperate third baseman?
Hit the button at the same time.
I mean, there's a pretty team in New York that could use them, but I'm not gonna say the Mets because I'm saving the Mets for some other answers.
Yankees.
Yankees could use them.
Yankees already have Judge. What are you talking about?
I mean, they're gonna bring Brett Gardner again, but Kansas is interesting. I'll say the Brewers to replace Avisail Garcia.
That's a good pick. Or even Cincinnati. No, Cincinnati maybe. I don't know. Cincinnati's such a weird. I mean,
Well, they're blowing it up.
Find anybody? Yeah, that's what I'm
They're gonna
saying.
and they're blowing it up. So I think the Brewers replacing Avisail wouldn't be a bad shout.
That's kind of a weird question. Would you rather have Sonny Gray than Castillo to save more prospects?
I wouldn't mind it.
You're also taking the New York risk. Remember, there's the whole story about.
Oh,
again,
I
that's a Yankees thing.
That's
Yankees
exactly.
blow
Thank
it
you,
all
Frank, for
the
actually being an intelligent one. Not
But
like Thank you.
but again, our Mets
We have
fans and
Hefner.
Yankee
We have
fans,
one
they're
of the
both.
best pitching coaches in the history.
We have,
of baseball.
exactly the
both-
pitching whisperer.
Yeah.
But Yankee
Just
fans
don't
and
have him
Mets
throw a
fans both
changeup or whatever he
suck.
didn't want to throw. Whatever the hell he didn't want to throw. Just
Yeah, no
have
to
him
the fans. They had the way the Yankees with the pitching
Used
was
them.
thing.
exactly.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was like
All right.
he wanted to throw
Why
a
not?
sinker and just So
Did Cohen go on?
cool.
Cohen went on Twitter. Nice.
Cool.
Is he on Twitter? Cool.
Is he on Twitter? Oh yeah, that's true. Yep.
Nice.
Yep, there it is. Max, yeah, there it is. Billy Epler with a cool graphic.
Billy has the
Wait.
experience, character.
When
Quote
did we
up.
hire Billy Epler?
The quote.
One exec believes the Mets should go after Max Scherzer, and that exec is brain damaged.
Interesting. This is an interesting.
Well, I wonder.
Well.
Everyone and their mom is saying the Tigers.
So I will say something different. I'm like, I think now let's not say Carlos Correa to the Tigers. That's
I've had the Brewers as a sleeper for a long time.
do I want to do this?
Milwaukee doesn't spend big money like that.
No. Do I go for the meme because I want to be a meme? San Diego Padres.
Phillies?
That Tatis moves to the outfield. Just go
I
billion
Waiting for
dollar.
Cronenworth and Frazier.
Cronenworth at second. Cronenworth can be like play the outfield, play anywhere. Frazier plays second. Somebody can DH. They have the flexibility. These guys play everywhere. Frazier can play the outfield. Cronenworth can play the outfield.
Yeah.
Just because you got to get, you got to replace the second best shortstop with the guy that's not even in the top 5. Come on. Great, and Tatis is also a great defensive outfielder. Great defensive outfielder. Whoever
God,
that
by
was just-
Fernando.
yeah, that was amazing.
Oh.
Let's.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. All right.
We're getting some good ones now.
All right, we'll do
getting
one
it.
more after this.
Okay.
Chris Bryant, where's he going? There's tons of options here.
Yeah. Well,
I
if you
think
want-
I feel like the Mets talked about it so much
that if
in
it
the
doesn't
offseason
happen,
last year that I just feel like they want to do something big besides just, like I said, just bringing back the same guys. I feel like it will be. I really do. I think this
Yeah.
will be Cohen's big move.
if you watch Rhino Hour, you know my answer. I'm on Team KB because again he fills holes, and guess what? He doesn't block Brett Beatty. But again, I think the Mets are most likely. Maybe the Phillies. They are my second favorite team. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a Phillies fan. Sorry, Mets fan. Sorry, but yeah, I'd say sleeper team. I don't see how much of a sleeper they are, but the Phillies, I guess. Can we pick? I think we should pick one instead of spinning the wheel. Like if we have like a player
All right,
and a
we'll
team
pick
that like,
one after
nobody's
we
talking
spin one
about.
more
Yeah, spin the
time,
wheel,
and then we'll.
like let's say
I
we have
a
a
player that I've been thinking about a lot that I can't really
All right, there
figure
we go.
out.
I have my bold take, which I kind of teased earlier.
Oh, just missed my name.
We got. Who cares? Oh, who cares? Spin it. Give me like we got to end it on a banger. We got to end it on a banger.
Let's go.
Well,
Banger.
Cobb to the Dodgers just screams like a Dodgers resurrection plan.
Oh, this is a good one. Here we go. All right. MVP candidate Marcus
That is in my video.
Sememian.
Oh, who'd you say? I forgot who you said in the
I said the
video.
Astros.
Yeah, that was a good shot. I like that.
Because they offered Correa like 150 or whatever. I think Marcus Semien takes 150.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, oh, Simeon's a good. That's a shout again. Coming off a good year, second base, shortstop, flexibility.
Because I think the Astros still intend to compete. You know, like
yeah, that's
Correa,
actually a really good team.
They're going to offer it to somebody because Seager's not taking that deal. Trevor Story's not taking that deal.
No,
Baez, I don't think he's taking that deal. I think Semien might be the only guy that probably would take that deal.
Am I going to say the Phillies again to play short? They moved off, trying to move off Didi. Because like they could move a third baseman, but also they got Segura, they got him. I hate saying my second field. I'm sorry, former the Phillies all the time, but that could make sense. I mean, I do think they could use him, Harper, the guy we don't like, the catcher we
The
don't
Phillies
want.
really need a center fielder. I mean, that should be their main focus.
Well, yeah, 100%. But they got.
I like him with Bryce, but then still you need someone.
Oh
else
no!
Bryce in the corner.
You keep the gold at best fielding and right field with the cannon.
All right. Well, guys, we're gonna save this wheel probably not next week, but the week after, because next week's Thanksgiving, so I doubt any of us are gonna be remotely available for.
Oh yeah, Thanksgiving next week. That's true.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do the?
Andrew?
What?
You have nothing better to do.
Well, I mean, I might be teasing something, but okay. I work every day. I lose track of dates and times. But are we gonna do our bold take, or are you gonna do your gimmick?
No. I'm gonna save my criteria because we kind of just ran low on time here for next one, and if you want to do one more big one, and then we'll be on our way because the three of us here is kind of just a
Well, man, this is a party, This is where.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, shit on Andrew Yeager's on Andrew's channel. Only 3 people show up.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Which I think I know which. But
who would?
I'll let I'll go with my bold take because, as a Missourian, I think that this team is going. They always seem to spend on one big move. I think they're doing 2, because I think with Matheny. Wow, Andrew, you're down 10 years. Mike Schilt gone. Mozeliak they always battled, even when he had the great, 2019. I think Mozeliak opens the checkbook up twice. I think they're going to make 2 moves. One, they're reuniting the Colorado left side of the infield, and Trevor Story is going to be their shortstop. Paul DeYoung. Paul DeYoung is only good against the Mets. Armando Sosa is the most replaceable level player you could find. And I think the money might take him out, but I've said it for about 6 months now that Max Scherzer is going to be a St. Louis Cardinal. I'm going to live and die as a St. Louis resident. That most doesn't mean a lot to most people, but I've said it for so long that I'm not letting this die. I think Trevor Story and I think Max Scherzer signs with the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Cardinals take full control of the NL Central for the next 3 years.
All right.
I could see Story, not Scherzer, though.
Hot takes.
It's a hot take. It's not what I think. I mean, I'm just
I'm gonna go with a Mets hot take. You guys ready for this?
Oh boy, this is gonna.
Oh no.
This is some analytical darling that we don't.
All right, you ready for this? Here's a Mets hot take.
James McCann's the DH and Tomas Neal is the full-time catcher. Yeah,
no. The return of Michael Conforto.
Oh boy.
To the Mets, and he will be in the National League MVP conversation if he returns.
We've said that the last 4 years. That's not really hot. That's kind of like a mild take.
He was in 2020 because apparently 2020 matters now. So Suck on that. All right,
Only
so
a year with a good batting average.
Left for Frank
Okay.
said he had a guy or somebody. They was like,
Well,
when I
no,
said
yeah,
play.
I was thinking about Trevor Story. Because I just been thinking about like there's so many shortstop available, and only so few teams are gonna pay what Trevor Story is deserving of.
Yeah.
And I just thinking like what teams are really out there. I mean, I just said the Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals getting Arenado and Story that'd be pretty big for them. I mean, payroll wise, that'd be different than St. Louis's model. I would say. I mean, that'd be pretty big.
I say that, but yet again, every year they seem to make one big move. And also,
Yeah.
look at Tyler O'Neill. Is I think just hitting ARB this year. Bader is going to be. I think O'Neill's it's another year before he hits ARB. Bader hits it this year. Dylan Carlson's going to be second year of his term. Tommy Edman, I think, is one more year. Then he's an ARB. Obviously, Yachty, who cares? Waino. Jack, I think, is just going to hit. And yet they still have Nolan Gorman, Matthew Liberatore. So, again, unlike the Mets, where most of the guys ain't making anything. Goldie's making money. Obviously, Nolan got the extension. He didn't opt out, so he's making his big money. You put Story's contract on there, it's still giving the flexibility because they're not paying O'Neill. They're not paying Bader. They're not paying Carlson. Not paying Edman. And it's just every year the Cardinals always make wow, that's a big move for a Midwest team. They never seem to the perception is they never make a big move, but if you look every year, they're always making a move. The last couple of years at least, not even still.
I would hope they focus on pitching more so though.
I would, yeah. The problem is again the pitching. The price is going to be. I say that they make one big move. They're going to spend a one big, but then they're going to do like they did this year at the deadline.
Yeah,
Lester,
like
Jay Haps. I think they would like to improve a guy like higher level, but I just think Mosaic only does that one move and then just tries to penny pinch. They're hoping Matthew Liberatore is coming up and maybe takes one of those spots. Obviously, Michaelis was hurt. Sorry for making this. Who?
Has Liberatore pitched yet?
No, he was in AAA. Sorry, this is now Cardinals Weekly. I'm sorry. This is the second team. This is the team I see the most because being there. What is this? Oh, trolling the chat. I see breaking. I'm like, what? Oh, it's in the chat. But again, I think they should go pitching. But also, Jack was hurt. Michaelis was hurt. Kim was hurt. So their whole rotation, like the Mets were, they were all hurt besides Wainwright. So you hope to get healthy. Obviously, Jack. Hopefully, you get more of the 2019. No, the finest card was 2019. 2019 Jack at the top of the rotation. You hope Wainwright can not fall off, but we keep saying that every year with Wainwright, and he keeps continuously pitching well. So sorry for making this card.
No, it's not Trevor Story. What do you think, Mets fan? You have anything for Trevor Story?
I think Seattle might be in that market. That was brought up.
They got to lead JP Crawford. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Would they really be that focused on the glove of Crawford to?
It's a story. It's like equal close to it.
I'm very concerned with Story. I don't. Again, the core stuff is kind of bullshit. But like
with him, it's kind of more
with the year that he had, the type of Michael Conforto type of year that he had.
Bad year.
Like a year that they did not expect him to have.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that.
I don't know. Story. My opinion has really changed on Story since the season that he's had. I don't know. He was kind of my priority over trading for him over Francisco Lindor, and I'm glad that that's not even a reality anymore because he's just he's just turned into a player where it's like, okay, there's nowhere to go up from there.
You know what's kind of funny? You said that about Conforto. You think the contract year had anything to do with that?
I don't know because, again, if he was going to get a big contract, Trevor, it wasn't going to be from the team that he was playing for.
Oh, yeah.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
So, with Conforto...
But he's still playing for a contract for somebody.
I don't think the contract year really got in Conforto's head as much. I don't think that was his thing.
Think he was
I think he was dead. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, he was dead. But no, I don't think it was like, it got in his head, whatever. He's been in New York for a long time. I don't think there's going to be, I don't know. But we can go on and on about Conforto, but I think we're going to cut it right here. Guys, we're gonna save that wheel probably for next episode if we still have some free agents out there. You probably will because the CBA will already expire. Yeah,
the lockouts will be
so CBA will expire at that point. Guys, keep your eyes open for some stuff regarding Mets Weekly. We are going to be starting to shift some stuff. You guys will see what we mean eventually. But I'll let these guys get their outro. Obviously, we had iTalk Studios. Thank you to him, guys. His link is in the description. Make sure to go check him out. Tony as well. Hayden. Elias did not make it today. We don't know what's going on with him. He might be lost. We don't know. Rhino, I'll let you.
Woman depression.
Yeah, we don't know. He's at the Mike F. and White funeral right now.
100%.
All right, Andrew, give your closing remarks.
Well, Frank wasn't here, but I did tease a little announcement that I teased out when the tweet went out. These streams will be back this week.
Oh.
And I forgot that Thanksgiving was going to be this Thursday because I was going to tease this white background that I've had, and different backgrounds I've had the last 3 months have been different. I was going to think on Thursday, I was like, oh man, it'd be a great. No, it's Thanksgiving, dumbass. The next Mets Weekly will have a very Nimmo-esque backdrop.
I like it.
He's coming home. The big homecoming.
The big homecoming.
Frank about sports.
Me and Pujols and Trevor were all going back down in Missouri. Let's go.
Yeah, big Trevor story with you. Yeah. Yeah, so Frank about sports. I made some videos lately, just covering more of MLB. Obviously, if there's any news, I will be reacting to it, talking about it, maybe predictions, rumors, things like that. So with the off season, and I do think they're going to try to cram some stuff between now and that lockout. Maybe teams don't want that stress of what are we going to do, when are we going to restart. So let's just have everybody for when we do start. So hopefully that makes for a lot of videos. I mean, that's my hope right now.
All right, guys. Again, keep you guys eyes peeled. Mets Talk with Hayden also would like to say goodbye.
What's going on, everyone? Yeah, sorry about that. I was having some technical issues. My Wi-Fi wanted to, bug out at the last minute. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Mets Talk with Hayden is the name. Raging is the game. I did upload 3 videos this week. If you guys want to check them out, that'd be very appreciated. First video was 3 options on what the Mets could do with Robinson Cano going into the 22 season, about Billy Epler, and, of course, Noah Syndergaard. Please feel free to check them out. LFGM.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys probably not next week, most likely, because it's Thanksgiving, but the week right after. We'll all, you'll stream or whatever.
Thanksgiving.
But that's not correct. Between now and then, there will probably be an emergency stream.
There will be an emergency.
Probably will get an emergency stream. Yeah.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for that in case Mets.
A lot of crazy stuff happening. A lot of crazy stuff happening with baseball, with Mets Weekly, guys. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Get ready for that. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. If you watched all 2 hours, you're awesome. We'll see you guys next week. LFGM. We'll see you guys.